We've got of course, Rising Star Major action back again. It's week number 2. It's the elimination bracket portion of the major for Rising Star at least, and Challenger as well tomorrow. And Premier, they do the same thing. We're doing 3 elimination brackets, Wolf, but we're gonna be we're here. We're casters for this match. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be a blast. It's one. This first match we picked is a rematch, and we picked it for a reason. I picked it for a reason, at least.
And I like this matchup too. I'm pretty sure we've seen these two teams play like recently.
Yeah, in the major. It was in the major in the second round of Swiss. These two teams ran into each other. Brainerd got the better of that. They got the win on that, and so it was St. Cloud and Brainerd, and it was a Brainerd sweep. So St. Cloud looking for the rebuttal is what you could say, and it means even more because it's the best of 7, all best of 7s in this bracket, and we're gonna kick it off with St. Cloud and Brainerd, and St. Cloud again, like I said, looking for the rebuttal, the reversal of fortunes, but they have to win 4 games, not 3, to do it.
Yep, and it's interesting. This is the first time that we're going to be seeing any team go up against a game 7, as it's our first major. We haven't had anything. We haven't had like an early major like we did last season. As immediately it's a shot on net. It's Carl going to take control of this one, but it's a counterattack from AK with the foam hat. Going to top off game 1 already with a goal.
And he would love to be what is on that foam hat. What it says, Brock, it says champ on it. Yep. He would love to be a major champion. You're a major champion from last season. You won major 2 with Rochester.
Yes.
Thing is that we only have 1 major this season. This one means more than anything because, of course, like I said, if you win this, you're a major champion for the season, and then you go on to bigger and better things, possibly in a Midwest Championship Series champion. But for now, this is the perfect start for St. Cloud, as they have yet to leave the Brainerd half.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams play against each other, because we've seen how strong the Victory can be, but we've definitely seen some errors in their gameplay. They've started off slow in these series before, and T-Jack gonna get the second goal for the Flyers in game number 2, but at the same time we've noticed some weird kind of random losses that you don't think the Flyers would be losing, that happen maybe off stream. We're just like not used to seeing some of those results, but this is definitely a team that should be at the top of Rising Star, as Blue putting this one through with just under, 3 goals in 1 minute. Just all over the place right now, as Victory getting there first. As, like I said again, 3 goals in a minute, Stewie. Where's the defense?
We're off to a blistering start of no defensive gameplay. But, where is the defense? Because it doesn't seem to be existent right now for the Victory. They've given up 2 goals in, like we said, a minute 15. And now we're only into the first game of this, and they're all best of 7s. It's a single elimination bracket, so if you lose, you're out of the major, and you place wherever you place, which is top 8. If you win through this, you go to the semifinal and get into the top 4, which will give you a greater point differential. I was looking at the points that you could possibly receive right now. Top 8 puts you in 5th through 8 as 10 points total, which I think helps out, of course, one of these teams, both of these teams are top 2, so this is the number 1 in the St. Cloud Flyers, sitting at 75 points on the season, and number 2 Brainerd Victory sitting at 65. Brainerd can close the gap by eliminating St. Cloud here. Yeah. But with how this start has gone for them, I don't know how possible that is, considering you talked about they sometimes go into series really slow, and they don't look like they don't look very quick. They don't look very quick here.
Yeah, and usually we start to see the Brainerd Victory play really well when they get these long stretches of offense, and they don't really do too much physicality, but it seems like there's like a confidence spark that this team needs, and they get usually during the series as Paul puts it behind the defender and ties the game 2-2 with 2 minutes remaining. And this major run for both of these teams is crucial. I mean, for the Miracles and the Knights in that 3rd through 4th spot, I mean, even Fargo and the Rangers, as you know, haven't really checked who made it through, but all those teams, I mean, are through. So right now it's super close. If one of these teams can sneak away with a big major performance, with a win, you could see them slot into the top 2 as that guaranteed land spot at the end of the night here, as Paul gonna put this one away. I love to see the reactions on the cams as the Victory have gone on a 3-goal stretch without any response from the Flyers.
Starting to wake up is what I will say. This has been a better second half of this game for Brainerd, and it's not over. We're still 2 minutes left, so it's not really the second half. It's the early second half. It's the they had us in the first half. Not gonna lie, but for Brainerd, it's been a great major so far. They come into this as I believe the in the major bracket right now, they're sitting as the 6th seed and St. Cloud is the 3. Despite Brainerd beating St. Cloud, they get a basically way worse seeding than them after it's all said and done, because Brainerd, after beating St. Cloud, lost to Minneapolis in 5 in the qualification match, and then lost to Hibbing in another qualification match, and had to go all the way to the 5th round of that Swiss, which is played a long night of matches last week. And now you're going to have to, if you want to win this major, you're going to have to play another long night of matches.
Yep. And not only just last week even, and this week, including the play-ins if you make it, it's a lot of Rocket League to endure back to back to back. You definitely need to step up and get away from your PC after some of these series, because they're all best of 7, and it is just grueling to have to play 4 or 5 best of 7s in a row. Sometimes, maybe not in this case, as it's quarterfinals, semis, and then finals, but in the play-ins especially, it's going to really test your team's endurance and their play, because teams that are going to lose immediately, if they want to have to make a run, they got to win 4 or 5 best of 7s, and I had to go through it last season. It was absolutely brutal. We had 0 breaks too, so it was just
to let alone
absurd,
and to let alone if you don't win this, for I believe these two teams, if one of them makes it through, Brainerd is not safe. Depending on how the bracket plays out for Minneapolis, as Brainerd will steal game 1 from St. Cloud and go up 1-0 at best of 7. Depending on how it plays out for Minneapolis and Green Bay, Brainerd is not safe, and St. Cloud, even with a one seed, is not safe. So you wanna get up into the semifinals as quick as you possibly can, because those your fortunes, like you said, can change in an instant. And when that happens, you go from being high in the clouds to staring down the barrel of a gun, saying, and we got to win this series, and we have to do it in a certain amount of time, and we have to get this certain placement to even not have to go through play-ins. And play-ins is grueling, like so many people know. It is a gauntlet for a reason, and you're not gonna like it. But with Brainerd striking early, I liked how they kind of turned things around.
Yeah.
You kind of saw they got a little bit of stuff in their eyes at the beginning of the series, and then they cleared it away with some water and figured out why they beat St. Cloud in the first place.
Yeah, and it's important to have that immediate bounce back. I'd figured that it would take maybe a game or 2 to get them back into the series, but it took them the single game as Blue put that one off the backboard. And an interesting result that we're going to have to wait and see out of this quarterfinal matchup is that Fargo Green Bay game. Both of those teams are in consideration for that land spot. And one of them's got to be eliminated, Stewie. So
And yeah, and I like that you brought that up, because that was the match I was thinking about putting on mainstream is that match, because I knew, you know, you can't look at those major seeds because they're very redundant for what those teams are vying for and how good they are. I just had a feeling that one was going to be another close one too, but you know, if you have a rematch like this where Brainerd dominated the first set they played, and then you get a rematch and they're right back at each other and it's winners round one, you know, you got to put it for people to see. But hope you're enjoying your time with us for now. You're going to be with us for a while. As all best of sevens, and I'm going to burn my voice out tonight, so it's gone for tomorrow, so I don't have to cast tomorrow. But
there you go.
I'm still going to end up working through it, but yeah, you know, no goals in the first, you know, minute and a half, so we're doing good. We're doing a little better.
Yeah,
as I say,
there might be another one, as Carl going to put that one wide. Blue with a huge pinch central, and just going to the Flyers' perspective, you know, it's a huge win for, you know, the victory in game one, but for the Flyers, you give up 3 straight goals. You were up 2-0 in game one, give up 3 straight goals and lose. I mean, it's obviously it's game one, but it's a mental killer for sure to have that happen right away, have that thrown right at you immediately. But the Flyers in, you know, it's not necessarily a much needed game, but it's one that they definitely like to have, as, you know, giving a 2-0 lead to a team has that potential to give them, you know, that third game, and then things could, you know, potentially get out of hand if you're not careful. Is CTN gonna miss that one? He knows as well he's made a mistake, as it's a good pass, but the shot just not there. As Brainerd on the counter attack here, gonna get blocked. Blue now up the wall, going to dip off of it. Didn't have much boost, kind of faked me out as well. As T-Jack puts a shot on. Blue got that corner boost though, so was able to make the save. I'm gonna outplay AK, but there's no follow-up. CTN immediate shot saved by Paul. 2 players commit. Blue also touch it. They're kind of touching it for no reason right now, as AK comes in and blocks that one from going over their head. T-Jack now working his way through the corner. Carl, no boost. It's gonna go out mid, but AK is a bit awkwardly positioned there. It's gonna give the free ball to Paul, and I love this first touch, and he pinches it past CTN, looking to advance the ball forward. Carl now pops it up. Is there a follow-up? Blue is there. It's going to drop down and waterfall, as AK is forced to get a touch. And here's where the victory are dangerous. They're moving the ball to each other so well, but what a save from CTN with 0 boost, just getting right in front of that ball. Blue from the wing is going to just barely miss. And right now it's still 0-0, and, you know, huge opportunities for the victory. The Flyers, they've got to find a way to hang on and keep this ball in the victory side, because right now it seemed like the victory have had the advantage, as CTN goes missing once again.
Huge 50 from T-Jack. It's going to bounce into that Flyers corner. AK, them on the back line. CTN's removed from the field. The 50 goes right to him on the spot, and he's going to get the corner boost, get a free ball possession here, and take his time. St. Cloud need to do that a little bit more. They've been throwing the ball to Brainerd a little bit too much, but you see how good Brainerd is when they have the ball in their possession, like you talked about. The intentional touches that they have, always moving towards a teammate, or really just moving in the direction of a teammate, so somebody can follow up immediately. We've seen so many chances for Blue in this game specifically that's had great, you know, assists come in, or a great pass come towards his direction is another one. Gonna rattle off the backboard. CTN has a beat all the way down the field. AK's lingering and lurking and finds T-Jack on the far side. T-Jack gonna have a chance for a shot. Hits the backboard as Blue collects, finds Paul in the counter attack. He hits the backboard. It doesn't put it on target, but if it was Brainerd finding the back of the net there, they would have been up with 20 seconds left. It would have been a killer for St. Cloud, but it's only 15. Time ticking away into that quarter. Paul has a 50 on CTN to deny it. No boost really for Brainerd, as they're all starved on their back line. Paul trying to work his way forward, and that's what the Brainerd also does well, is getting out of their half quickly. It's going to bounce at 0 seconds. Blue's going to keep it up. Paul, though, puts it wide, and I guess CTN is so happy to see that ball go down to the ground, because that turned into a 3-on-1 very, very quickly.
Yeah, all 3 players were there, but 2 players from the Flyers have committed. T-Jack last. Gonna have to get 2 blocks to hopefully stop for his teammates, as Carl goes missing. and huge opportunity from the Brainerd Victory. Gone away, but Carl now working his way in the corner, bumping CTN off of this ball, as Blue is kind of awkwardly backing up into this one, but turns his car around, gonna 50 T-Jack, just gonna let it go, and there's no support. There, they were playing the midfield pass.
Great touch.
As Carl now tries to play it over CTN, but he's done a really good job at blocking the Brainerd Victory attack as he gets a touch forward to AK. It's on net. Carl should be back for this one. It's a huge clear. T-Jack now to the backboard. It goes. Paul goes missing. Oh, but he gets bumped by his own teammate possibly into the ball. It's a double commit. They're going to utilize that backboard again. AK goes missing. And now CTN going to follow this one up from the corner. T-Jack blocked by Blue. And a minute into overtime, it's back on the Flyers side. You got to be careful here as it's a double commit from the Flyers. This might not be too well for them as Paul going to be denied by T-Jack, and now Blue to keep it in. Cannot get another follow-up, and AK just going to leave it out for Paul, and this could be dangerous. Once again, T-Jack goes missing, and a lot of misses, a lot of nerves starting to show here in this overtime in Game 1.
You have to feel like this is a back-breaking game. If St. Cloud doesn't win this, it means a 2-0 disadvantage for them. And of course, it's a best of 7, so you have a little bit more time to play with. You're not done after that third game. But if you go down 3-0, I've only ever seen one improbable comeback like that before, and one of these franchises was involved with it, but they were on the leading side of it, and they didn't win it, but. Yeah, we best not talk about that. You and I were involved with that, but
yes.
St. Cloud, if they can win this, should be a big one. As they put pressure, as that save just comes across, but it doesn't really work out for. I think it was Carl. It was, and he's going to be kicking himself for that one because St. Cloud's going to win Game 2 off of Carl not being able to save the ball for Brainerd, and St. Cloud. A great answer right away as they even the best of 7 up and 1 apiece.
I mean, a game win is a game win. It doesn't matter how it goes in. It was important for the Flyers to get out of that game alive with the win, and just an unfortunate ending as Carl. I mean, it's just like little things like that. Not saving your flip, couldn't get enough power on it to the corner into safety, and that's what's going to kill them in this overtime. I mean, we saw the Brainerd Victory pressure throughout the game, even, before overtime, Stewie. Really, it seemed like they had the game in their hands. It was 0-0, but, just before overtime, they had probably a solid minute of pressure, and then when it would go to their end, it'd only be in there for about, maybe 5-10 seconds, and it would be back into the Flyers' end, and they'd have another offensive push. They just couldn't get anything to fall for them. And then, once they got into that overtime, it was anybody's ball game. And the Flyers, come out on top. 6 saves as a team from the Flyers. About, equivalent shots. But it really felt like the game was in control of the Victory from the start. So it'll be interesting to see how this Game 3 plays out, as it's definitely an important one. As, it would have been so killer for the Flyers to drop that game, considering Game 1, they were up by 2, then let 3 goals straight from the Victory to let them win, but then also lose, a 0-0 overtime game. That would have been absolutely killer, but they found a new momentum. CTN to AK, slots it bottom left, and the Flyers have found some momentum.
Bang, bang. T-Jack to AK.
It
doesn't matter who's passing it. AK slots it bottom left corner. And that's what St. Cloud does so well. The infield passing. I mean, both of these teams, I can't talk highly enough about them, Wolf. Is their ability to move the ball to each other and, make intentional plays is just, it's great to see. You see it at such a high level, but CTN doesn't care what level it's at. It's in your net is where it's at. As AK going for a bump, slams Carl out of the way, and CTN just beats that last defender to the crossbar.
Yeah, it's difficult to save that if you've got somebody harassing you in net. But then on top of that, CTN hit it to the crossbar. It was partially barred down, and I don't think would have gone in immediately. And then he had followed it up with his second touch. So really put to perfection by the Flyers. Not really much you can do about defending that unless you were to attack it early, as the Flyers are awkward here. They're hitting the ball into each other. All 3 players in the vicinity of the ball there, as that's not what you want to see. Even though you're up by 2, you don't want to have moments like that, because it could open opportunities like this. Paul into the back of the net, the victory, get it within 1 as Blakester takes Carl's cam and picks it up. And I don't even know what's happening, Stewie.
These guys are the best. They're the best to have on stream. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how their camera's orientated. It doesn't matter if they listen to me or not. When you're supposed to not open the link to the cams on Discord, you're supposed to copy it from Discord and paste it into a browser on your phone. That way you can turn your camera sideways if you're using your phone. But regardless, I don't care how their orientation is for their phones. Their cameras are always great, and it's awesome to see that Brainerd really brings the passion and they bring the fun into their matches every single week. And you know, with this especially, it's important for them to be on a good mental note, because they just gave up a game to St. Cloud, and St. Cloud's starting to heat up. And as CTN and T-Jack specifically find the back of the net more for the Flyers, who on St. Cloud or who on Brainerd's going to step up? For me, it's got to be Blue, because he's the high pick on the team and has the most mechanical prowess. But right now, he doesn't look that great for Brainerd, and if they can get him going, they may be able to put St. Cloud to bed.
And that's the good thing about this victory team. Not one player doesn't really have to like step up. They play really well as a team, and they give, you know, plenty of opportunities to each other, and that gives them, you know, players time to warm up and find themselves in the series. But right now, currently victory down by 1. They did have offense until T-Jack hit that one out as Carl hits it into AK. T-Jack now from the corner. Did it get past Blue? It might have. AK comes in and 50s it in. The Flyers back up by 2.
And a great follow from T-Jack out of the corner. AK beats 2 Brainerd defenders, just muscles his way to the back of the net. 2:40 to go here, Wolf, in game number 3. I like that we're playing best of 7s, though, because we get to see all the maps, and we don't get to see all the maps sometimes in best of 5s, obviously. But Paul works his way through all the defenders from St. Cloud as he essentially does the same thing of what AK just did, except he passes it this time.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even know what that 50 was from Paul. He bats it off of like 2 defenders. It goes to the post and in a shootable spot for Carl. So like, I don't know. I mean, it's just like the perfect setup for the victory. And now they're back within 1 as AK gonna leave that one as T-Jack gonna get credited with the goal. It's off the kickoff. He kind of just smacks it, and it's a bounce off the ground. AK threatening the bump. Paul just goes missing.
And that's again another rebuttal from St. Cloud, who have stepped up once again and cut the lead. Or have gotten their 2-goal lead back. Cut the lead. Why would they want to cut the lead? AK though off the backboard. He hits the crossbar. CTN's blocked by Blue. And St. Cloud really putting on the pressure onto Brainerd's half, as they have started to wake up here and have put on a ton of offensive chances. CTN upper 90. What a denial by Carl as he saves that one, as he couldn't save the one in game 2, but here he does, and it's a big one. It could prove to be a big one if Brainerd are able to come back and even up the game at 2 apiece. And you will look back to that save, but AK, I think if he just left that was it. It's still in as T-Jack tugs it through.
Yeah, it did not matter in the end. CTN plays it over 1. Yeah, Blue is awkward there, but AK didn't want to have the chance to give Blue that chance to save it in the end, and so just plays it to the backboard. Even if they weren't able to score there, I mean, it could have been bad, but T-Jack just gets a monstrous 50 that goes his way, and it's to a 3-goal lead now. And now Brainerd in this game not looking likely to take this one. They're gonna need to put something together pretty quickly. Blue now, Mazona end, pops it over 1, dribbles it. It's a decent 50. CTN goes missing. It's open. Carl will put it away as he's kind of just floating in the middle of the air. Just waits for that touch. Hands out the W's even though he's down by 2. But I mean, a minute 22 is manageable. You just can't let the Flyers have these, you know, immediate response goals, whether that's off the kickoff or a mistake, and the Victory need to capitalize and get onto offense almost immediately.
Carl, one touch to the corner. That has his team down by 2, but Blue is removed from the field. Carl has to make another save across his net. Doesn't really win the 50 as Blue gets it down. Carl looking for a bump on CTN, but T-Jack has it covered, puts it to the corner, slows it down, and gets his St. Cloud team a little bit of breathing room as Brainerd is starting to breathe down their necks with only 50 seconds left. Blue across the box as T-Jack still makes the save. AK kind of hits his own post, but doesn't really. Is the 50 going to go wide? And T-Jack has one touch as it's going to go off the backboard and going to fall into it. Look for one more for CTN. Now 30 seconds. Brainerd needs to score 2 goals, and they got to get one before they even get the second to think about overtime.
Oh my.
That's going to give a bit of vicious bounce, but CTN has the clear all the way down to T-Jack. Carl over 1. Going to leave it for Paul, who is up. Has ball possession, looks for a flip reset, does get it, but doesn't get a decent shot on net. Blue covers the midfield line, but there's only 10 seconds. Brainerd likely going to go down 2-1.
Yep, and the Flyers just playing solid Rocket League at the end of this game. Can Paul get it with 1 second left? He can. So, doesn't look like that bad of a potential loss. We won't call it yet, as there still is at least there's
a chance.
There's a chance. That the Victory can somehow get out of this, but I mean, it's not likely at all. They're gonna have to keep this ball up as Blue goes into his own corner, grabs the boost, backflips. T-Jack should knock it down. He doesn't hit it at all, and at that point for the Victory, you kind of got to panic and hope for the best, and did not go their way as the Flyers take game number 3, and that's back-to-back for the Flyers. Both 1-goal games too. Yeah.
2 wins in a row. We haven't seen a game number 1 like we had previously, and now going into this 4th game, you have to see, of course, Brainerd obviously get this one back, or they're going to be staring down series point and match point if they're not careful, because St. Cloud has really started to bring it, putting up 5 in this game. You see how spread out the offense is. Everyone contributing, everybody scores at least once. And, I told you about, when is specifically T-Jack going to start waking up, had 2 goals and almost 700 points in that last game.
Yep. And I mean, CTN was already playing good defense, but we saw him get on the board with some good shots. But there's T-Jack again. Off of the kickoff, poses a threatening shot, and it's enough to get them the first goal of game number 4.
Great placement. Paul, though, he gave Paul a chance. He said, come try it, Paul. See if you can save it. And just beats him on pure speed, and Paul didn't get the greatest touch, but AK now again off the kickoff. Gonna fall into a 50 as T-Jack gets a forward touch, looking for AK one more, but T-Jack into that corner, loses possession of the ball. We've seen that a lot from offense. Carl with a monster flick all the way down the field, evens up the game, but what a piece, and they only wait about 10 seconds.
And I don't know what happened to Blue. It looked like he DC'd. He just stopped moving his car. I don't know if he was waiting for Carl to come in and take it.
I think he just knew Carl was going to score.
But just zero movement there was kind of fishy for like 5 seconds. We didn't see him move his car. But regardless, Carl with the huge goal to get them back. And we've seen this a lot from these two teams. They like to respond almost immediately to each other. As that's a miss. It's open, but T-Jack, there he is again. All over on offense and defense as he gets the flip reset, misses it, and Blue is going to counter. And the Victory have stolen away a goal and gotten the lead back from the St. Cloud Flyers.
All 3 St. Cloud players went.
Yep.
All 3 gave an attempt at it. I think Blue just understands that I just have to be one of them to the ball and just beats all 3. Gets the lead for Brainerd in this 4th game, and we again are off to a blistering start of offensive.
Yep.
Firepower as a shootout is being played out. Ooh. We just leave the ball in front of our net and miss it, and
360. Yep.
Yeah, a little bit of a 50 as Carl gonna get one over the top of the St. Cloud line in the midfield, but CTN with a good flick forward only has 6 score to his name. Now 16 as he registers a shot, but Paul gonna go, of course, next. And I believe this could drop down past to
Yes.
Blue as the shot's there. CTN does make contact, and that's again Blue punishing on a St. Cloud miss.
Yeah, and you might be able to argue that CTN would have been able to save it if Blue had enough boost. But Blue had 0 boost coming into the shot, could really only place it low there. And so the Victory find themselves 3 goals in a row. You know, similar to game 1, just without the 2-0 Flyers lead. Now the Victory with a 2-goal lead as that one comes flying across the net. It's Paul out to Blue. And one thing for the Flyers, I think, that can really like cement their gameplay here. Definitely enough time in this game, but you know, we've seen attempts of demos from, you know, all 3 of these players. They know what needs to happen. They know that they need to have 1 man on the ball, but they're overextended once again, and Carl's gonna punish them for the 2nd time.
And Carl has had a really, really big impact in this series so far. Has caught St. Cloud out multiple times now. And if you keep letting that happen, Carl's going to keep taking advantage of it. And, I mean, Carl's nuts. I don't know if that refers to his nuts, but more of he is nuts. As,
Yep.
I mean, he's had some great clears downfield, a great beat out on their on St. Cloud's
His
third
defense
man
as well.
multiple times. And his
Big shout
defense,
out.
has gotten better as the series has gone on. You know, we think about the big mistake in game 2 that he made. If they lose this series, he's definitely going to be kicking himself for that one. But with how good this team's mental is, I just don't see how, you know, how that would have killed him. Is really, he's, like I said, just gotten better and better on defense throughout the rest of the series and how it has gone. And St. Cloud starting to mount an attack, starting to put more and more pressure. And if you're Brainerd, you can bend. You can really bend some, but pretty soon St. Cloud's going to snap that stick over their knee, and they're looking for it.
Yep, and you know, we're starting to see more of the Flyers. We know they're not able to score. I mean, I guess on defense, not really. We've seen them kind of get caught.
They made a ton of mistakes.
Yeah, but you know, when we're seeing them on offense, they're going for the bumps. They've got somebody on the ball, but it seems like the shot is just placed way too fast. They don't slow it down enough so that bump can come in. And man, they go for it almost every time, but it's not going to matter if your first man shoots it on net immediately, and so the ball goes ahead of the guy who's trying to demo. So I mean, that guy becomes pretty much useless trying to go for a bump if the ball's just going to go past him in the first place. So Brainerd here with a 3-goal lead in game number 4, on their way to tie up this series to a piece, and it's important for them to make sure that they stay in this one. CTN crossbar down. T-Jack just gonna keep it close to AK. I really like that touch, as AK as well keeps it close to his car. Sets up T-Jack for the shot into the back of the net. 2 goals down, 1:26, and I love the ball movement from the Flyers.
Great forward flip from AK. That 50 never happens if he doesn't commit as hard as he did into that ball. Wins the 50-50 down to T-Jack, and few are going to beat him in Rising Star to a ball midfield. So it's going to go up the sidewall. AK, they're going to steal the boost from Blue, but Blue just stays on the ball, and look at how much time he kills.
He jumped
He
early.
gives himself a free shot, and
gets a
AK
touch.
misses. Paul just goes flying over AK's car. It's the T-Jack backflip 50s
no
into it and
way.
wins it, and we have a 1-goal game.
I mean, ultimately, AK should be punished for this. I mean, AK's jumping early on defense, finds his way to touch it when lands, and outplays 2 people, and it's the 50 that just goes right.
Carl's reaction, I can't. But I mean, just a perfect 50 from T-Jack, and all things went wrong in that play for the Victory, and now the Flyers, if they're able to get this one maybe into an overtime, it could be very dangerous for the Victory, as, you know, a 3-1 lead would be detrimental for the Victory right now, as they were up 3 goals. Now they've conceded back-to-back, only need to give up 1 more, and the Flyers have tied the game, but they're on defense right now. Carl looking to turn on this one, but doesn't. He's just going to wait for Paul to come in. I love this patience from the Victory as they force the Flyers to commit towards the ball. Carl just bluffs that he's going to challenge it, sets up Paul for the shot.
He says, I'm looking at it, but I'm not really going to go. I mean, do you think I'm going to go, or am I going to go? Or he doesn't even know himself if he's going for the ball. He just figures, well, T-Jack is just going to fly by it, and I don't have to do anything here. Paul, you come in and take the shot. I mean, the good news is they aren't going to squander away a 4-1 lead. I mean, it's, you still a little bit of time for St. Cloud if they can find one quick, but it's in the same situation Brainerd was at last game. You have to find one before you find the second, and only 15 seconds left. St. Cloud on the attack, but we've seen what this Brainerd defense can do. When clearing the ball and when putting it in a spot where it just annoys the Flyers to deal with. We're going to go to a game number 5, and we're all even up at 2 games apiece.
Yep, and it's, I mean, that with about 40 seconds left, that play between Carl and Paul really gave them that blanket, that coverage to secure the game. It was kind of getting worrisome as they had given up, 2 goals in a row, and it was a 3-goal lead. Flyers got it within 1, but not able to, claw their way back into that one. T-Jack shot 50% and had a hat trick. AK with all 3 assists. CTN only statistically had 3 shots, had 2 demos, but both these teams only had 2 demos. We have yet to see. We've seen the attempts to go for the bumps and demos, Stewie, but really we haven't seen them impact, the course of the game or any of the goals so far. Like I said, I mean, that shot just comes a bit too fast, a bit too early, and doesn't allow time for that demo man to come through and do his work. So at the end of it all, right now, little physicality in this series. Yeah.
And you got to think if we go to a game 6 or a 7, we're going to get a game 6 at least. But if we go to a game 7, will we see that physicality pick up? And will we see, St. Cloud start to find some breathing room on their ball possessions? Because Brainerd is shutting down a lot of these midfield plays. I mean, right off the kickoff, there's a demo from AK off the bottom corner. He was looking for the shot, but CTN doesn't kick it up enough, and it's Carl once again to deny it. All the way back down on the backboard for St. Cloud, would clear away by CTN into the side wall. That's a touch, one more, but doesn't have any boost as he works to the backboard. Great play from Brainerd to work their way out. They get over T-Jack, a front man touch for Carl. So it's going to go on the front side. Looking for a miss. Is Blue going to have one over the top? Looking for 2 more touches. He just keeps it into the corner as CTN blocks Paul's shot, and Carl into the backboard. Brainerd putting pressure on St. Cloud so far.
Ooh. And an awkward transition here from St. Cloud, but somehow it might be through. It's a good 50 from T-Jack. CTN's up quicker than Blue as T-Jack and AK both go committing, though, as this ball's kind of just floating. Carl waiting for the 50. Takes 1, takes 2, and it's towards the left side. Paul doesn't have a lot of time and is going to miss. AK now forcing his way through the corner. It's a good 50. Carl is awkward on defense, but the shot's not there. They were not confident enough to send up person for that, tough angle shot, and if they were there a bit earlier, it'd be much more manageable for T-Jack, as he's going to get a 50. It's going to go down to Carl, who tries to get back to it, but it's just going to leave it for Paul. It's barred down. It's saved, though, by 2 defending Flyers. But it's still on their zone victory now, looking to keep up this offensive pressure, which, I mean, they're really good at doing it, but it's another double commit for St. Cloud as CTN finds AK on the counter-attack. Paul can't get it. Carl has to bail him out. And now Blue taking this one to the air, gets 1 touch over the defense. T-Jack has to get the save, and we see both of these teams panicking on defense early here in game number 5, as it's another double commit. Blue, can he drop it down? He cannot, as some great shot opportunities and some great defense, even though it has been, some double commits. It's been great defense nonetheless.
Game's almost halfway over. 50-50 from Blue and CTN. T-Jack on the follow-up is met by Carl at the point of attack. Paul looking for a win of a 50 into that corner. That's going to clear all the way down to T-Jack. Gets the defense out. Blue can't get back. T-Jack has St. Cloud the first, as game number 5 has been as close as it could possibly be. And like you said, it has been the series of a lifetime for nerves. That's for sure.
I mean, they sent 2 people in the corner there for that 50, and even if you're able to win it, it doesn't really help you. You have 2 players committing on their zone, and that leaves only 1 guy back. And then, I mean, on top of that, their 3rd man there was, pretty close as well supporting. So really, really aggressive approach from the Victory there. And, usually we've seen the Flyers were the ones that have been overcommitting. Paul puts this one towards net, pinches it down off the post. Blue tries to get it in, but it's off the post. And now the counterattack denied by CTN. AK now blocked by Paul as he works his way through the corner. Going to be denied by T-Jack, who takes another 50, but Blue goes for the flip reset. Limited boost to work with. CTN's going to deny him, though, as he's got boost to work with. Just pops it up over 1. Paul with an awkward touch. Blue gets a touch, but I don't know if that's what they really wanted. Paul goes missing. It's over the top of him. T-Jack can't follow it, but AK's there. And the Flyers have a 2-goal lead here in game number 5.
I think Clouds just had more consistent midfield play. They've had more of a cleaner follow-up from their second man, more of a open chance to put it to the backboard. And yes, this is Rising Star, so it's the lowest of our leagues that we have. It goes all the way up to, 2K MMR. Up into the top 100 for Premier, but Rising Star never disappoints in these majors, Brock. It seems like the series just get closer and closer as putting pressure again. Brainerd now down 2-0 as Blue finds a back shot, can't hit the back post though. Placed it somewhat well. First touch from Paul is really good as he's going to play across the net. CTN with nothing, St. Cloud with nothing. I'm scanning through their players, and there's one player who has boost. It's AK. He was on the ball as T-Jack and CTN have absolutely nothing right now. Is only 35 seconds. Brainerd's trying to put the clamps down, but they can't.
They can't
find their way through. Is looking for one shot as Paul all the way down the field. 25 seconds left, and Brainerd cannot find one. They can't buy one right now.
Nope. As it's a really good touch from T-Jack, puts it in a threatening position. Only about 10 seconds left now. Flyers are up by 2. And, it was that stretch that was going to determine, the result of this game. If we were going to give the Victory a chance, when they had 0 boost for a solid about 30 seconds to a minute, they were able to hang on and take game 5 away from the Victory as they go on to match point, looking to move up to that semifinal. But as the series has gone, we're probably in for a game 7 overtime that lasts 5 minutes to get us even more off schedule.
But even then, though, if we do, it would be good, obviously, for Brainerd to go to a game 7, because now they need to force one if they want to have a chance, because they're staring down a match point disadvantage that has plagued countless teams, so many teams in the scrapyard for game 6 for Neo Tokyo. How many teams have we seen lose on that field and lose out of the tournament? But now it's a guessing game of what we're going to get from Brainerd. Their offense has slowed down. Their defense is not. You see the saves that they have made. And Brainerd, of course, needing to find a game 6 that pushes them to a game 7. But getting shut out here in game 5 is not a good look going into the 6th game. So we're gonna of course jump back into the action in just a second, as we've got game number 6, 5 minutes on the clock. If St. Cloud are able to put them to bed, they're going to move on. If St. Cloud are able to put Brainerd to bed, Brainerd is done for the night. But St. Cloud, I mean, they still have the game 7 to think about if they lose this, but it would be great to win it in 6.
Oh my goodness. What is this play from T-Jack? Please show it. Didn't T-Jack bump Blue out of the way and then
Blue,
score?
He did,
yeah.
And then stopped and scored.
What an individual play from T-Jack, and it's all set up from CTN. That is just... I don't know what else want to do. It's like a Zen-esque play where he literally bumps the defender out of the way and still scores, but it's off the post. Saved by Carl, though. He's been all over the defensive end for the Brainerd victory. And there he was again. Paul gets one touch out, but here come the demos from the St. Cloud Flyers. It's a big pinch, though. Down toward the Flyers end. CTN gonna follow this one up. Outplays two defenders now. Carl now trying to work through that wall, as well as Blue, but is going to be denied by T-Jack. Paul off of the wall, going to be denied by CTN. As Paul gets a very strong touch, it's a pass to AK, who keeps it close and is somehow getting off the post. T-Jack can't turn it around, and it's a rule one between T-Jack and Blue. And will they stick it? I mean, I wouldn't see why not. Paul could break it, but he's going to take the save instead. Paul breaks it. Paul breaks it.
It was a double. It was a double rule one. It was a double.
What?
It was a double rule one, and now they break the next one. Is Brainerd does not want to play a 1v1, does not want to play a 2v2. They want to play a 3v3. Is this game not quite halfway over, but we're nearing it. Is almost, I mean, almost 2 minutes in. St. Cloud with the early goal right off that kickoff. Brainerd has been stuck in their half ever since. It's been the most disorganized we've ever seen. But how do they deal with this infield pass? Because it's going towards their net. They have a 50. As Carl has been the hero on defense again and is called to action once again as he finally gets one touch out. But you see AK sitting at the midfield line. Paul all the way down the field. CTN doesn't get the best touches. T-Jack's going to have to cover for him. Goes into the midfield. CTN one more touch as Carl gets the dunk across. How does St. Cloud deal with their defense now? As they finally break their way out. It's a 2-on-1 between CTN and T-Jack. Off the backboard, Paul reads it though. A great follow-up from Brainerd.
Block.
So they're able to keep it away, and good defense from them as Carl has one touch over CTN, but there's AK at the midfield line holding it down. Once again, Blue though with a chance. Has a shot, looks upper left, but can't find it, and Brainerd just need one to tie up this game.
Yep, and it's going to be a big one. I mean, they've had some opportunities like this, but what is this pre-flip save from CTN to get back and deny the shot? It was wide open. It was wide open, but he's somehow able to recover in time, pre-flips into it, and blocks the shot. And the Victory are still on offense, but man, they've had limited opportunities, and when they do get them, they've been rushing.
He's nothing.
They've been rushing into it. And they haven't been, you know, slowing the play down or really keeping possession like we've seen in the past. As Carl tries to find Paul on the wall, as it will drop down. Carl, 1v1, takes the 50, but AK's gonna deny it. Blue working from the corner once again. Flip reset attempt. Not gonna be able to get it. Where's the shot? They're not there. They're not confident enough to send two people to go for the ball, or not even one. As now CTN gets a double. Blue working his way out of the corner, but has given it away to AK, who finds his way through the defense. Paul gets the save, and you don't want to be farming these saves on defense if you're right now, if you're the Brainerd Victory, but you might just have to for the time being. CTN gets the demo. T-Jack wins the 50, but it's down to Blue, who they've got to make a counterattack right now. They get it over the defender. Carl, can he find the angle? Somehow denied. I don't think it was going to go instantly in, but it would have been definitely a dangerous situation as a minute goes down.
Oh my God,
T-Jack. Game number 6, and Carl's going to take possession. Can we get a timeout real quick? I need a breather, man.
The only one with boost was T-Jack on the defensive line. He was the only one to make a save. CTN off the backboard, AK into the corner. It turns into a throwaway. Blue looking for the outlet pass, but there's AK off the sidewall. What does he have? Off the backboard, was looking for some chances. Into that corner, Blue. One more touch, dunks CTN. St. Cloud, they're on defense now as AK wins one touch. Paul to the ceiling, looking for one more follow-up as Carl. That shot's on target, but easily turned away by T-Jack. 13 seconds, CTN with a redirect. It's off the backboard. Blue finds Paul.
Wait,
they both make it out. It's into the corner. Can Blue turn this down? No, T-Jack turns it away. 2 seconds. The ball's just gonna bounce. Blue has to keep it up. He fakes out one, but T-Jack gets the dunk and it's gonna hit the ground. It's St. Cloud will get the revenge, and it's a revenge that's best served flying high.
Wow. What a chaotic ending to that game. They had
My God.
so many opportunities. I mean, the defense, though, from both sides, I mean, the Brainerd Victory were literally pinned. They were on the hair of their chinny chin chin, Stewie, and they get back onto offense somehow, but they're not able to put one away in the end. It was so close to going in. So many close opportunities, but I've got to give credit to T-Jack. He had 4 saves, but honestly, I feel like he had more, important blocks than that. And I mean, CTN as well. I don't know if that one save is his pre-flip save over Carl's shot. I don't know, but whatever that's accounted for, I mean, just big shout out to that play because, man, it looked wide open. It was a good shot, but it was a pre-flipping defender in CTN, Stewie, that was able to block the shot that would have tied the game in the end of it all.
I have some news. Oh man, we need to absolutely throw away all predictions here. The good news is we got it. We got it. A simple series on the top side. Let me just update the bracket for you, Brock, really, really quickly, and send it. Shouldn't take it, too long. But mother of God, the score reports that have come in, you are going to be absolutely baffled when you hear these. But the good news is this one at least stays true, to it stays true to what we kind of expected was be St. Cloud winning, but in other news, Fargo has defeated Green Bay in 5 games in a 4-1 win, and that one was kind of expected, obviously. But also Hibbing and Chicago. Now this is the one I kind of wanted also to stream just because it would have been a really good match. That one a little bit different though, because that one went to 7, and I know a player on Chicago's team. Chicago went down 3-1 in the series and ended up coming all the way back and in winning in game 7 against Hibbing to eliminate Hibbing from the tournament. Now Chicago, that's a massive win for them because they need those points desperately to stay in the conversation for 8th, but you're going to get even more nuts. Omaha, who is the 7 seed, eliminating Minneapolis in a 4-game sweep.
Wow.
And Omaha just continues to baffle me because they barely made it in. They barely made it in. They went to round 5 to even get in, and they're going to the semifinals to play St. Cloud.
I mean, I guess. And I've got the lay bracket, and like you said, the Flyers, of course, winning that one in 6, which felt like 7. Oh my God. You said the Buffalo swept the Miracles.
I think it might have been a forfeit.
Oh my. Well,
which regardless is,
that's interesting considering how, they're in that conversation, Stewie, for that top spot, for that land spot, they were 3rd. And, with the result, obviously it would have helped them if the Victory won, that series in terms of points, as, the Flyers had a 10-point victory, or had 10 points over the Victory. But that's not good. If you have a land spot on the line and you can't show up, or that's a realistic land spot, I don't know what you're doing, Stewie. Plan in advance, people. That's a pretty important, match.
And the fact that you don't even
show up.
Yeah.
One thing to lose, but not showing up. Definitely interesting. But the Jungle. Wow, that's 7.
The Jungle have made a run.
The 7
Jungle have made a run
and result against the Rangers.
And being down.
Down 1-3. No.
Down 1-3 is crazy to me, but I mean, Fargo's still in the fight for second too, Nate. That's a really good point to bring up. Fargo's still in the conversation for second place, and I mean, I don't know what it is about majors, but some teams just really bring it on those days. I don't know why, but regardless, with the Steelhawks moving on, they're able to move into, of course, that semifinal, and that's the next match we're gonna watch. Brock is that semifinal match between the Jungle and the Steelhawks, and give me 1 second to do that, but regardless, I'm curious as to see what what in the world did I just do?
Wait, you said Fargo and who?
Fargo and Chicago.
An update.
That's the top side semifinal. That's the next one we're
yes.
gonna watch. Interesting. I kind of mixed up the names on the thing. Goofy,
Stewie.
Goofy, definitely. But
Yes, Stewie. How about you send us to a brick?
no, we don't do that. We don't do breaks.
No, we don't.
No, we don't do breaks.
Nope.
Breaks are not for us. But sorry, friends. I'm in the middle of concentrating on something. But regardless, we'll have the next series coming up very, very soon. Fargo Steelhawks and Chicago Jungle. That one gonna take place in just a bit.
Moment, all it takes is a moment. Is it fate that you came this far unbroken? If it's destiny, you wrote it. Focus, but you gotta be focused. Make or break, it's the last goodbye they remember you for. They're calling your name, go and take what's yours. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment.
inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. Saw you in the red dress. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. Broken down
major number one. It's the only major Rising Star. We're kicking off the semifinals. We've gone through all the quarterfinals at 6 p.m. We've played through all of them. There was one that was an upset, but other than that, we've had some really close series. I've kicked Wolf to the curb. He's still there, still working stuff behind the scenes. But I have Ori now, and Ori, you've been in Rising Star all season. Obviously, won it last season. You might have played Rising Star. You might know some insider info here on what's going on. But regardless, we have got taking a look at the bracket. We have got the topside semifinal first. That being, of course, the Steelhawks and the Jungle. Now, the Jungle took down the Rangers in a Game 7. Jungle were down 1-3 in that series. They brought it all the way back, won 3 straight, and won to move on to play Fargo, who dispatched Green Bay in 5. Miracles in Buffalo winning that in 4. Flyers in victory. The Flyers, we just saw them win in 6, and that one, it could have easily gone 7. Ori, I'm interested in your thoughts in that last one.
Last series, I caught a little bit of it before I got on, and honestly what it looked like was just Flyers had a better all-around team. You saw Brainerd have some breakaways, and if Blue wasn't involved, it most of the time wasn't a goal. So, I mean, you had Flyers, everyone on their team was looking for a demo. Everyone on their team was getting just more value out of each play. And that's pretty much why they won. It's pretty much as simple as that. It's just more value per player for St. Cloud. Every single one of them was doing something in any play really to help their team.
And, looking at this now, we're on the top side, Steelhawks and Jungle. I think we have some predictions to make. I was pulling for the Jungle all this major. They went 3-1 in the Swiss stage. They made their way to, of course, this bracket, and now winning quarters and going into semis. They have a chance to make a major final. And really, they've kind of had a Cinderella run for me. And I'm going with the Jungle here. I think the Jungle are going to win this in 6. I feel like they could dispatch the Steelhawks here if the Steelhawks don't bring it. But with how the Steelhawks have done so far, I don't know. It's going to be a really, really close series and a tough one at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell too because Steelhawks had Green Bay only took them to 5 games. I mean, Green Bay is not a team that you just kind of push aside like that. And on the converse side of Jungle, I mean, this roster, I don't think the seeding, their placement in the season does them justice. I mean, Jonah and Grant debuted just such a good all-around team, especially Jonah. I mean, we've seen him play, I think, Challenger before, definitely shows that he's capable of that caliber. So I think it really could go either way. Both of them are really, really evenly matched.
Indeed. And as we kick this off, game number 1, it's a best of 7. We're in our single elim bracket. So, lose in 7 here. You lose, whoever wins 4 games first. And whoever loses goes home. But you get a ton of points, with moving on from quarters into semifinals. You go from 5th through 8th place already to top 4, and you're getting 3 extra points, which could mean the difference between you getting, a land spot or you making it into that playoff gauntlet. But so far, right off the kickoff, good to see no shenanigans, nobody making any early mistakes. Is Mal going to play the backboard? Grant with not a ton of boost, but able to clear the line for Chicago for now. And Debu going to be last back a ton, and they're going to remove Jonah from the field. That's huge because Debu was the only one who really had any boost and is able to work his way out for the Jungle.
I'm going to take attention to Debu. I have not, that decal is almost, it's like half as old as I am in terms of views. That decal is X-Set. Yeah, that decal's
that's an old, I don't even know if
almost as old as Rocket League is. And when talking about Debu, here he takes it. he takes it all the way across the field from his own corner almost. Just a nice pop on the backboard. No one home. No one even close to being able to defend that on the side of Steelhawk. Just absolutely caught out. I mean, Debu, that decal shows just how long he's been playing this game. I mean, that is 6+ years old at least, and to be able to be invested into the game to buy an esports decal back then is, I don't know. That's it's a scary. It's a statement of a decal they have on that. Let's see if it does anything. So far, it has. I mean, he's the only one that's done anything this game so far in terms of the scoring end. Bobslinger trying to get himself on the board, blocked away by Jonah. Now Debut on the sidewall, tries to do it again. Light touch, just doesn't have any boost, but
save.
it's not over for him. Save was there, and the follow-up shots hit wide. No one there on the side of Jungle. Don't
Great demo, though.
Overcommit. And Debut again with the ball. He has space, he has boost, he has Cloudy back on the defensive line, can't get it over and follow up. Just put wide,
Jonah's there.
But Jonah's there to clean it up, and we have a 2-goal lead for the Jungle.
And I believe the colors are incorrect on the overlay, Mr. Brock. So if you could flap those for us, that would be great. But I think actually no, I can do it in game. Sorry about that, friends. Right now the Jungle are on the orange side, and the Steelhawks are on the blue side. I apologize for that, but we will get those flip-flopped. They are flip-flopped. They were flipped wrong in game. The Jungle are up 2-0 currently now, but a great start for Chicago, who are getting a lot of great third-man demos, and really for me, they've just had the more consistent play so far. Great challenges too. Debu has been a monster so far in the 50-50 game. He's got another.
It's the decal. That's all. It's the
XSET decal. It's the decal. I mean, XSET has seen no success in Rocket League from what I know, but regardless, I mean, it's the decal. I mean, they're. I know they're flying around the field at this point. Ori in game one, great start for Chicago, who have come to play, but that is a great beat out from Bobslinger, and that just can't. You know, that one is one you're gonna want back. I think it was Jonah. It was. He just didn't get there in time, and took too much time. Is the 50 just gonna go over Grant's head?
Yeah, just no one really there for that unfortunate kickoff. Just pinches high and out wide, and person cheating could have maybe sat under it, but just an awkward ball to play through. You don't really see kickoff goals happen that often in threes, even at this level, but you know, they still do happen, and it does give Steelhawks some breathing room. Maybe that one finding its way through, but not just off target. But 2 goals now only, but under half the game left to try to get it back, and
oh my gosh,
with double whips like that on the back line, I don't know how well that's going to go for them. Cloudy redirect, easily saved away by Jonah. All 3 players on the back line there, trying to break down the defense. That one doesn't find its way through, just put wide and across the goal line. Deep trying to make it a hat trick, can't find it.
And a great cover up. Chicago, even if they double commit there, Grant though has the touch and is able to cover Jonah's miss. I love what Chicago are doing so far when it comes to their spacing. They are doing a great job of going back and getting themselves in a good spot to hit the ball, but that 50 just doesn't go their way, and Cloudy gonna win that one over Debu. Grant really has to cover the entire net, and Bobslinger is able to put it through on an open net, but still a minute 53. Chicago came out fast. Starting to slow it down is the Steelhawks. How does Chicago react to this?
You're talking about spacing, and just as you're, I mean, they're gonna find one right here. Surely, almost saved away. I almost cursed that, but as you were talking about spacing, we saw Grant in the middle of the net, not back post, couldn't save that, but yeah, makes up for it right here on just another kickoff goal. They get the one back from earlier, and all of a sudden, 2-goal lead still, and just more time burned off the clock. You love that.
Debu again.
You are
oh my God.
Jungle, and you absolutely love it if you are Jungle right now. Debu with the hat trick.
This is their 3rd round pick, by the way. This is their last pick of Rising Star, and the kid is just completely shining at this point. Has done it all for the Jungle so far, but he has had a great performance in this first game, as Grant's going to call him off here. They're going to catch Barr gone again. Grant Barr down. It's a 6-goal game 1 for Chicago.
No one home. The only person that had a chance was bumped off the play. I don't think Bob was going to be able to save that one anyway. And no, I'm not talking about Bob the Huge Man. But
Bob, are you
man,
in chat?
Jungle. I mean, I said this earlier. I'm gonna stick by it. they are not a bottom feed. They're not a bottom seeded team. I just refuse to believe that with the roster that they have that they are. And it was off of roster changes, I do believe, that they got it. So obviously they didn't have a lot of time in the season to really show themselves fully. But they have this time their turn in the major to do it. And they're climbing their way through the points to qualify for the play-ins and beating a team like this who dispatched Green Bay, which was definitely a higher seeded team throughout most of the season, shows just how potent this roster is. Grant looking to show them just how potent it is. Pass over to Jonah, blocked away. Cloudy, this turn on the ball. Kind of an awkward air dribble, doesn't find as much, but that demo clears the way. The shot put wide. 2 players go though, but it won't matter as first man gets bumped at the play. Shot follows its way through. It's off target, off the post, and Jungle very happily able just to play boomer ball for the last couple seconds of this game.
Gonna be saved by Jonah, and yes, the names on the overlay are reversed. Brock, I don't know if we wanna. Do I want to just change it in game? I don't know if I want to mess with the. Do I just want to swap it in game? Yeah, I don't know if I want to mess with the players, you know, their decals and everything like that. But I don't think it'll make a difference, to be honest, with how Chicago dominates game 1. 6 on the board against Fargo, who has had a good defense this season, has had played structured, but I mean, really, Chicago just brought the sledgehammer and completely knocked down whatever Fargo had brought. That is 769 points for Debu in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, with the hat trick, 700 points, just drops a bombshell on Steelhawks, and that's the statement game you want to make if you're Jungle, being more of an underdog team throughout this bracket. You know, I personally wasn't. I will say on my predictions for the overtime, I didn't have them going through. I had them, I think, 2 and 3. But I was kind of in Schlonker's magic. I was very adamant that he would make it through. I really not just because I thought he was a good player, but because I like him. But in reality, I mean, Jungle with this roster, it was just, I'm honestly not surprised that they're here, which is definitely saying something, because I mean, they're showing why it's not surprising. I mean, 6-2 Steelhawks, that's a very big statement game. I mean, you could have taken away the goal contributions from everybody else and just had Debu score, and it would still be a win for them. So I don't know. I think it's Jungle. That's, oh shit. Hold on, wait.
Sorry.
I'm not. Listen, I'm so used to playing in Rising Star.
Or he just wants to play.
I just want to play, man.
I
just want to play, man.
But what's good news though is Jonah and Debu have the exit decal on both cars. So the only one that's changing is Grant, but overall, I don't think Chicago needs to change anything from that game 1. They looked potent on offense. They are doing so well right now of finding each other at just such good times, and this synergy that they're showing is just incredible. Debu playing out of his mind at this point. Jonah has a follow-up, but not going to be on target enough, and into that corner. Bobslinger goes missing, and big mistake is Debu going to put pressure again on Fargo, who have no boost. Debu's there for the 50 and nothing in the tank for Fargo.
As you were talking about chemistry, this entire 30 seconds of the game was just spent on the Steelhawks' half. I don't even know if you can call it Steelhawks' half after that. It's Jungle's field. All 3 players just swarming in their half, stealing boost, bumping, rotating out, shooting, stealing boost. There's constant pressure from everyone, and it's just suffocating as they look to try to replicate it, but right now they have to get it out of their own half. Now one goes midfield, no one really finding anything here. Cloudy, leave it for Bob. Goes straight down. Maleficent not able to find anything off of it. Tries to get there, but that 50 goes awry. Cloudy now having to control us in this corner. Gets it around 1. 50's around 2, but that's dangerously out in the middle, but no one there to take the shot. But Jungle still able to keep it in Steelhawks' half.
Cloudy, good possession, and Cloudy has to be the guy for this Steelhawks roster. Was brought in, same with Mal. I think both Mal and Bobslinger were drafted, but Cloudy, I'm pretty sure, was brought in on a move that they made, and he has got to be the guy for them. The mechanical menace, the shooting player, and as I say his name, he shows up, is able to get the shot, and Debu with the touch that was looking for a back pass. Grant wasn't ready for it. Cloudy hits the shot and able to even us up at one goal apiece.
As you're talking about a shooting, it's not a easy corner rec to hit, let alone hitting it that fast. It's a very well played shot, but off the back of a mistake from Jungle, they kind of want that one back. But I mean, if you're Steelhawks, if the only thing you're able to survive on and eat off of is misplayed back passes, then you need to find something more, because Jungle is not going to give you that many of those for the rest of the series.
Holy.
Great clear off the backboard. Cloudy's still able to meet it. Goes in the midfield. No one on either team really getting there in time to meet the bounce, but 50 does still happen. Into the corner now. Jonah. No boost, can't get to it. Debu getting harassed. Still makes the touch. Maleficent on his back foot. Has to play this over to Grant. Pops in the midfield, trying to look to mount some pressure. That touch bit off from Bob. Grant, bit of a miss on the sidewall. Makes Debu a bit awkward. Slows the play down, but Jonah able to pounce on it quickly in the
Nice
corner
dunk.
midfield. Almost another Rule 1 happening, but still so much pressure Jungle has.
The patience that Chicago is showing on their back line is really doing wonders for them on defense so far, as that's going to bounce all the way down. But Jonah has been all over the field at this point, really stepping it up on every aspect of the game, as Grant doesn't have a ton of boost. We'll turn it to the side wall. 2:22 to go here in game number 2. If you're watching, if you're just joining us, we're through to our semifinals of the elimination bracket for the major of our lowest league Rising Star, who have we were treated to a 6-game set.
Oh, what happened?
In the first series, but no one home for Chicago here, is Maleficent able to get one, and just
Jonah
gets by Grant as Jonah and Grant run into each other. And you know, with Chicago taking game 1 in dominating fashion, they need to clean up a little bit here more defensively. As a couple of mistakes coming out here, but it's expected as you know, your nerves start to get up a little bit higher.
I mean, their pressure is so good. They just need to get it out their own half. But when they're committing and rotating like that on their defensive end, I don't know how they're going to be able to do it. Grant, though, he takes it down the field, keeps it in 50. Only goes as far as Maleficent, who plays it all the way back into the corner. Jonah's touch plays it out to himself, gets it around 2 players. Now 1v1 opportunity, doesn't get it around Cloudy. It looks scary there for a moment for Jungle. Sorry for Steelhawks. Almost conceded one. Minute 30 left, so much of this game already gone by. They want to make it a 2-goal lead, but it's going to be blocked away by Jonah, who on his back foot had to dodge a demo, jumps up and gets the save. Cloudy not able to place that one on target. Clutter in the midfield, comes out on the side of neither team. Bob now able to collect it, able to get challenged right away to the debut. Quick counter attack, putting pressure on, and he gets a bump, putting pressure on the side of Steelhawks, and Jungle need a goal. And they're going to need one within a minute of this game, or they're going to kiss away their one game series lead.
Facing a bump was Debu. Grant into the corner. Big touch, though, for Cloudy, as he's going to have a chance to follow this up in Chicago, giving him a little bit too much space. Bob for the shot. It's blocked by Debu. Great block on defense for Chicago. Up to Cloudy. What does he have? Off the backboard. Bob goes missing, and Chicago gonna get a 50 to Debu. Both players miss, but Cloudy has the boost and gets the first touch. Looking for one more. Is gonna fall on it, and 50 Grant gets another 50. Debu works by to Maleficent, who gets one touch off the sidewall. Jonah, though, takes it off his head into the midfield. Cloudy up the sidewall, has some boost, will be dunked by Grant. Bob in a awkward spot. Debu off the backboard, and his touch kind of gets away from him. Is only 10 seconds left. Jonah gonna put more pressure on Fargo. Into that corner. It's just open. Hello, anyone home from Fargo?
What? I was expecting a clear here with the way that Jungle are playing. I was like, oh, they just bang it away, waiting for a clear. What happened? Cloudy just caught off. Bobslinger caught out. And I think if you're Maleficent, you expect someone back, committed in the corner. Wanted to put pressure on that, but ends up going the way that they don't want it to. Now there's an opportunity to end it in regulation. That was scary. But Jungle hold on by the skin of their teeth.
Overtime in game 2. Chicago looking for the 2-0 series advantage. Debu off the backboard. Gonna leave it for Jonah. Good touchdown field. Mal gonna play up to himself. Didn't really get what he wanted, though, and kind of just throws the ball away to Grant. Debu gets the boost on the spawn. 50 is going to go midfield. Bob Slinger off the backboard. Great patience from Debu to not jump off the wall. Mal with a shot. Good save from Debu. He plays sidewall, gets one more touch. Doesn't have a ton of boost, but we've seen what he's done all series upfield has been a menace for the Steelhawks to deal with. Shona with not the best touch, but that was kind of an open opportunity. Cloudy goes missing off the sidewall. Grant's there for the 50. It's gonna go off the corner. Jonah, one more touch. Gonna look for one more, but Mal has the clear, and Bob Slinger is able to demo Grant. I think that Fargo has cleared the line for now, but as I say that, Jonah works his way back in and is gonna place it in a position for Chicago to put some pressure on this Steelhawks defense.
I mean, I want to see Jungle's second man play a little bit more aggressive, but with the way they're playing, they just have first, cause as much havoc, make Steelhawks panic and feel like they have to send it away. But in reality, that's a scary touch, and it might not work out, but that's a big debut to the backboard, double tap attempt block away by Cloudy. How in the world do they get away with that?
Mal with the shot, gonna be saved by Grant, likely gonna have to get another touch, and will. Jonah bumps Mal. Debu has the clear. Mal can't get the save. Debu, he misses the opponent. Chicago playing with literal fire at this point, but Steelhawks somehow have not given up this game losing goal. What in the world is going on?
That's what I was trying to say before all hell broke loose on the field. I mean,
Fake.
I want to, as I was saying, I want to see their second men play more aggressive to be there for the shot, as I was talking about it, or at least about to try to. There it is, beautifully placed. Bob just covering everything besides the top shelf, and that's where he ends up placing it. Jungle with a much, I feel like, deserved win in that game too, after throwing away two really, really good opportunities to end it in OT. They find a third one somehow, and are able to put that one away.
I mean, my God, this is
giving me a heart attack,
you
bro.
see the, I know, but you see the pop off though from the jungle as they put that one in. Debu has been playing out of his mind, Ori, right now, shooting 2 for 5. A lot of saves though for the jungle in this game, but the jungle able to pull it out. They score with what? 7 seconds left.
2.5. Debu has 2.5 goals per game right now in this series.
Oh my God,
crazy!
Yeah,
that is wild.
He is playing out of his mind right now, and Chicago are, reaping the benefits of it. But the big thing I'm seeing is Fargo with a lot of mistakes on their back line, and Chicago almost capitalized multiple times in that overtime. They should have ended it way earlier than they did. But the good thing for Chicago is with how many mistakes that Fargo made, Chicago eventually punished them in the overtime and got the win.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... I don't know what Jungle were doing in that. I mean, that was a well-played shot out there, and don't get me wrong, but you can't put away the open net with no one in net, but you can shoot it around 2 people and put it like bar down. I don't know. I don't know anymore, but I mean, I mean, like I was saying though, when all Fargo could score off of was just the scraps and pieces that... What a shot.
Oh, no.
Almost.
Debu's there.
The ball was going to be there. I mean, if all you can score is just the bit scraps and pieces that Jungle leave on the defensive end by just kind of making mistakes, it wasn't anything that Steelhawks really did. It was just things that Jungle didn't do. I mean, the Steelhawks aren't forcing anything. They're not putting up pressure. They're not putting Jungle in a tight squeeze. It's more so just Jungle putting themselves in a bad spot, and then Steelhawks sometimes capitalizing off of it. They're going to need to do more. It needs to be more than just Cloudy air dribbling the ball. It needs to be at least someone else taking the ball, forcing someone to have to jump and challenge, and forcing someone to have to play upfield. Because yes, a lot of Cloudy's possessions do not result in a goal, but it forces such a hard commit from a jungle defender. It forces them so far out, and it's so good for just keeping possession and forcing pressure and taking control of the game. But touches like that from Bob Slinger are definitely going to do it if they can keep it up.
Yeah, good clear here. Cloudy, though, kind of gives it right to Jonah, and I like what Chicago did there. Nobody flipped past the ball. Everyone got a free possession. Debu off the backboard. Grant was there, but Debu had the double. Another double commit from Fargo, and you saw the early goal 12 seconds into this game. Jonah just puts pressure on the net, and Cloudy and Bob Slinger completely, fumble the bag and double commit on the back line, and Great flip reset from Grant forward. Gonna find Jonah another touch. Bob Slinger gonna be dunked by Jonah into that corner, and it's just
That's dangerous.
mistake after mistake for Fargo. Is they're stuck in their half once again. Cloudy though finds Mal on the commit, but again a touch
Debu.
goes errantly wide, and Debu on the back check will get the clear. And again, there's Fargo at the midfield line. Gonna play one more touch is Jonah off the sidewall. 3:17 still left in this game number 3. If you're just joining us, Chicago with a blistering 2-0 start, and they are playing some excellent Rocket League at this point. Nate said jungle fever. I definitely have jungle fever.
Yeah, I mean, can you blame us? I mean, look at how they're playing. If Fargo want to way back into the series with the way Jungle are playing, they're gonna need to win this, and they're gonna need to win it in a convincing way, either through a close game where they're able to hold up their defensive line, or they get their own looks on offense and put pressure on themselves. But
Oh my god.
if they're only able to win just off of, like I said, just bits and scraps, I don't know how long those are going to be left on the floor for. Jungle are so good at cleaning it up. And especially with passes like that, Maleficent just barely getting there back in time would have been a 2-0 lead for Jungle. And with the way Jungle are playing, I mean, it's so suffocating because they wait, they play patiently. You see all three players, no one, they don't throw themselves at unnecessary balls. Their second man plays really patient, waits for a touch like this to come out into the midfield, and plays it right back into the middle and just keeps the pressure going. And you see it again with their third man. They just play patient. They don't go unless they really have a good ball to go for. And
it's a great
with the way that they're
50.
playing, they're able to keep possession and play so just suffocating because they have such a hard line built up in the midfield. And Steelhawks, just even if they get it past that, Jungle have so many players ready to play that ball that they just get it right back and put it right back in their half. And they're going to need to... The only thing I can really see breaking through this is just good solo plays out from Cloudy or upfield passing. But I've only seen one of those two things so far, and that hasn't resulted in a goal yet.
It's off the backboard. Grant has to make a touch. Debu, though, leaves it. Cloudy into the air. Jonah, I think, jumped and did. Cloudy gets under one, but the flip reset goes right at Debu. Now off the backboard. Bob Slinger is blocked by Grant. Great defense from Chicago to hang on. They're still stuck in their half. Here is Jonah. Great touch. Finds Grant. Grant clears it all the way down the field. The Jungle going to clear their line, and Debu gets a great 50. And one thing, Jonah is a menace on the field at this point. Is winning 50 after 50. Is great challenges so far. Has won his team some just such clean possessions that he's doing such a good job of just making players miss from Fargo, who they look silly at this point. As Mal is going to leave that, he's expecting Cloudy to have it, but Grant has the shot.
They're just letting them play themselves. Look, bang up. Everyone's awkward. They just wait. Let the opening open itself, and no one's expecting a late shot there. Steelhawks just caught off. Expecting a touch, expecting a bang, but Jungle are just sitting there and just watching them flail around, slip and fall over. And just a well-played shot as well to follow it up. 2-goal lead, 30 seconds left. How much does Steelhawks have left in the tank? Because their major's about to be cut short.
Into that corner, like you said, yeah, this is the game for match point. If Chicago win this, they're up 3-0. Cloudy into the midfield, leave it for Bob Slinger. The shot is wide. Debu doesn't make contact. Bob Slinger gets one. There's 16 seconds left. And again, it just comes at a massive mistake from Chicago, who just kind of shoot themselves in the foot. I think Debu, I thought Debu had that really, but honestly, if Chicago not making contact on that, yeah, whatever, you move on from it. You're still winning. There's still 16 seconds left, but
The
kickoff doesn't even go in Fargo's favor as Debu misses, but Jonah gets the beat on Bob Slinger. Cloudy into the air. You talked about what you need. A Cloudy solo play off the backboard. Does he have the double? Does it get it? Bob Slinger goes missing. That was your chance. At a full possession, Debu's just going to leave it. Jungle up 3-0.
I wanted to see it. It's not like it wasn't close.
Setup too. He got over the tall defender. The first one. He got over the first defender and had the chance. Just hit the crossbar.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. Everything else, even the finish, you could argue was there. That was going on net. It's just mere inches away from getting under that crossbar and going in. If he scores that has to be the goal Rising Star this entire season. I don't think I've seen anything like that at all. This entire season of playing, that would have been crazy. But it just doesn't. The cards don't fall their way, and Steelhawks need more than just Cloudy doing those plays. If say Maleficent or Bob just getting not even, it doesn't have to be crazy mechanical freestyle plays like that. It just has to be multiple touches on the ball. If they're just collecting it and keeping it close to their car and getting good follow-up touches, that's what they need. But when it's just strings of one-touch plays like that, it's just making it easier and easier for Jungle to win this series, as all they need to do is put one more game away, that one bouncing in front of the net.
No boost.
No one there. Debu, just no boost and not able to go for the ball.
And no boost on the side of the Jungle or the Steelhawks. So that one's just gonna float in front of that Steelhawks net. But great infield pass, finds Grant, but Grant shoots it wide. It's okay, it happens. You know, you don't hit every single shot you take, but Chicago again clear their lines. This Jonah is just a menace on the field. Mal nearly owned goal. It's a free shot. Grant bottom right places it well. Chicago, I mean, when they get the chance, even Steelhawks demoing them, it doesn't matter.
I was about to say, they did everything they possibly could. Their demo, clear the ball off to the side. It doesn't matter. Jungle are still there. They're still putting it in the back of your net. And they're still going to sweep you if you don't put anything up.
Jonah is legitimately just an absolute monster at this point. Working through Steelhawk defender after Steelhawk defender, as that 50 might go all the way in. Cloudy Lechever will tie the game up as he wins this 50 on the sidewall, and unlucky here is it's going to go all the way in. And Chicago, you know, you're going to give up one, but for me, Fargo has just made the more mistake, most of the mistakes, really. I
mean, like I'm saying, Fargo are only scoring off mistakes, and they have yet to prove me wrong. Cloudy yet to prove me wrong by scoring a mechanical goal, creating it himself. So far, their opportunities haven't been created off of pressure or off of anything, really. It's more so just Jungle kind of messing up on their own accord. As I was saying about that, they almost did create their own opportunity through a passing play there, but DB looking to clear this off his back line. Nice pre-flip touch, gets it around Cloudy, forces Bob to push up here. Now the clear goes through, Maleficent on his back line. Touch, but that's easily going to be read by Debu on the backboard. Soft touch down, plays it out to Jonah. Both players goes missing. Grant putting demo pressure on Cloudy. He can't go for it. Beautiful back pass. What a good awareness. Beautiful fake. Cloudy stays in front of it, though. Now it's dangerous. That shot just... he fluffed just off to the side. Nothing really coming from that.
And I like what Jonah did, Ori. He kind of just, you know, you're not scoring that. You don't hit that angle. Why would I go for it? That pinch shot's going to go up or top right. It's going to go in. It's Grant pinches it off the ground.
What a shot from Grant. Put it top right. Pinch off the ground. Oh my gosh. You literally cannot physically shoot it any better than that. That is...
How are you supposed to save that? I mean,
oh my god.
What are you supposed to do?
He's covering literally everything in the net except the post.
The top right corner, and he gets the top right corner as it bounces in. As this touch is going to go in front of the net. Jonah, huge save. The step up from the Jungle captain has been huge so far in this series. Is playing well, but it's been this man, Debu, been a menace for Fargo to deal with. He finds Jonah. Right. These two are just a tandem pair that can't be stopped.
All three players, I'd argue, in Jungle.
Three, yeah. Why would I say two? All three of them.
Grant with 2 goals. You can't count him out.
No, I can't get him. No way. No way.
Grant, it's just, I mean, I know Grant, Jonah from last season. They didn't put up a result in their season, but I mean, individually as players, it definitely wasn't free playing. I mean, you definitely had to be on your A game, otherwise, like they're gonna catch you lacking. And this season, especially Jonah, he's had a spiel in Challenger. He's had that experience, and it's definitely showing why. I mean, he's the captain of the team. He's been setting up. He's been commanding his team to just cruise through what is a top team right now in Steelhawks, who are just look flat. They haven't even won a game. They haven't even. They had an overtime. Cloudy had a chance to tie it at 0 seconds. He's looking for a steal double of his own, and the free jump from Grant not finding its way through. They're having fun right now, and they're toying with their food.
And I know I've known Grant for years now, competing with him in college, and I've seen him grow as a player and getting better. And at this point in Grant's Rocket League career, I know what he's capable of. And I mean, I think he's getting towards the best Rocket League he's played in a long time. But I know he has another level. And to think about that, I talked to Grant about Debu, and Grant thought Debu was the best third round pick in Rising Star by far. The best player that you could have selected in your third selection is Debu. And I agree with that now, seeing this performance from Chicago.
I don't really think you can say no to that when they're about to go to the grand finals of a major. I mean,
exactly. And
on
now,
the back of Debu, by the way, he was averaging 2 goals a game in this series, which is absolutely ridiculous. Goals do not come easy in Rocket League, and to average 2 is just
unreal,
baffling.
I mean, this is a Fargo team that went 3-0 in the major, or in the Swiss, beat the Inferno in 5, beat the Superiors in 3, and beat the Rangers in 3 to qualify for this bracket. They are going to go out 5th through 8th, or not 5th through 8th, 3rd through 4th. They're going to get top 4, but that's all they get, because they ain't even going to get one game on the board. The Jungle sweep their way into the grand finals.
And I mean, this was a Steelhawks team who took down Green Bay as well. Like, they were sharp coming into this game. That's not just a dull performance. They weren't playing any nothing. It was nothing on Steelhawks' half. It's just Jungle. They're just better. I don't really know how else to say.
Okay. I appreciate the information. That all just happened now with Fargo. With Fargo being eliminated, Fargo, like we talked about earlier, Brock and I talked about earlier, as the threat to that number 1 and 2 seed. But, despite Brainerd going out, obviously 5th through 8th, they still clinched that 2nd seed for LAN, and St. Cloud clinching the number 1 seed for LAN. So both of those teams into LAN, and with Jungle winning that, they clinch it through. But this is a quick one, Ori, a quick 4-0 sweep, and Chicago look dangerous at this point with that win. I said 4-2. I gave Steelhawks I gave them a shot. I said, without Jungle playing, I thought the Jungle just have peaked higher and have played a stronger amount so far, Ori, a stronger bracket. I don't know what to say. They just decimated this Steelhawks side. There was no rebuttal from Fargo at all.
Yeah, I mean, I keep looking at that Jungle roster, and I look at their seeding. I'm like, how are they this low seeded? I've been saying that all season. And
I think I have the answer for that. They've gone to almost game 5 every single week. I'm pretty sure, talking to Grant, that they have gone to game 5 way too much, and they've lost in game 5 way too much. Now, to think about that, that's not like a bad thing. It just means you're in every series you compete in. But Ori, going to game 5 a ton does train you for these moments where you could see a game 7 in that major final.
Right. And I mean, if they're already on the precipice, if they're already going to game 5 over and over again, once they get that breakout, once they get that edge over the other team, they don't have to push themselves that far over the edge, as they're already there. And you see that they're able to push themselves over the edge, whether it was through, I think, since the the trade window, they've been on a tear, if I'm not mistaken. Ever since that trade window, I don't know if they did make any changes, but
they did not. This is their drafting roster.
They've been shredding through team after team after team, and they're showing this shredding through Fargo, who now get knocked down. And Jungle just looking to put themselves in as high of a possible spot as they can going into that play going into the play-in spot to try to go through what is an absolutely unforgiving bracket to try to qualify for LAN. But we'll see what seeding they end up placing here at the end of the season. We'll also see what team they end up playing in the grand finals.
Yeah, we're gonna find that out next. That's our next match, Ori. We're on time actually for once. We're ahead of schedule, but yeah, Ori, Omaha and St. Cloud coming up next, courtesy of that bracket. That is the second semifinal, the bottom semifinal. We're gonna find out who's playing the Chicago Jungle in the major final for Rising Star. Don't go anywhere.
Dollars in the wind, bending over backwards just to let you in. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the putting in the
moment. All it takes is a moment. Is it fate that you came this far unbroken? If it's destiny, you wrote it. Focused, but you gotta be focused. Make or break, it's the last goodbye they remember you for. They're calling your name, go and take what's yours. Here, now, it's everything you've been dreaming about. There's a reason why you were chosen. This is your moment.
think I need therapy or just some more whiskey. I can't seem to understand how you do this to me. You've been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. Saw you in the red dress. I can't seem to understand how you got all that finesse. Still been running in circles inside my head. Wasn't looking for love, but baby, I found you instead. shit. Yeah, you check for my vitals, think I need revival. Broken down and fading, my heart keeps breaking.
Gotta be the stronger for the survivors. Looking up below in a little bit of darkness. All each other up when we're falling down. Never give it up because we are the fighters. Gotta be the stronger for the survivors. Looking up below in a little bit of darkness. Hold each other up when we're falling down. Never give it up because we are the fighters.
Welcome back, everybody, to the MCS Rising Star Major. Last match, if you guys missed it, Jungle actually swept. I just baffled by that. Honestly, it's still just. I can't put into words what that was, but I mean, swept Steelhawks onto the grand finals. Now we're determining who's going to face them between Omaha and St. Cloud. And if Omaha, I'm actually rooting for Omaha to lose, because if they lose, then that means that Burnsville qualify for play-ins and Buffalo don't. And it's going to be a very slim point margins. So, yeah, I mean, I'm already predicting St. Cloud, especially with the way they played against Brainerd. I don't know about you, Brock.
Yeah, I think St. Cloud have to be the favorites in this one. I mean, they're coming into they've already clinched their the number 1 land spot, as well as the victory have as well. As we we look back at the bracket real quick. Some surprises earlier on with the Miracles getting swept by the Buffalo. The Flyers beating the Victory, those top 2 teams fighting it out. Flyers this time not losing in 5. They win it in 6 in that quarterfinal match. The Jungle coming back from a 1-3 deficit against the Rangers to win in 7. And then the Steelhawks in that quarterfinal knocking down the Mighty Knights in 5 games. And then, I mean, just an absolute tear from the Jungle. Ever since that Rangers win, we saw what the Jungle and Debu could do. All 3 of those players were just on top of their game, and that's the peak that we know this team can be. Unfortunately for the Jungle, even if they win the entire major, since those 2 land spots are already secured, they're just playing for seeding at this point.
They're playing for which does matter, especially in a play-in bracket as tough as that. Every little matchup can matter. But I mean, also, I think Minneapolis forfeited their game.
Yes, I do remember
they did,
that.
Yeah.
So not a good look.
So they're going to be coming in cold here with no... I mean, sure, they've definitely warmed up, I'm assuming, in training or played ranked or something, but I mean, no matches, no on-stream anything, and there's something just different about playing a league match versus a scrim or anything else, really. This is something sets in, you realize how important every little thing you do is, and especially over the course of a 7-game series, really add up, but we'll see. That matters to them is off the kickoff. They already have a goal.
Yeah, 3 seconds in, Sear just gets a wide open look. This kickoff goes right to the cheater, and Sear's gonna put it top left, and T-Jack can't get the save. And so the Buffalo right now on a run to try to secure play-ins, with that win, like you said, but also, to kind of be the gatekeepers. They surprisingly beat hold up. They beat they beat the Miracles due to a forfeit. So yeah, like you said, they're coming in cold. So maybe not the best look. It's gonna be interesting. It could be just nice and easy for the Flyers, but you know, judging off of that first goal that went top left, I don't know if it's gonna be that easy.
Oh, that could have been a response though, just put wide, and yeah, that was a well pushed out by Sear, but I looked at the cheat on the replay, and AK was almost going for the kickoff himself. He had to actually slow down so he didn't get in the way of it. So just kind of an awkward cheat, but they're on their back foot again, able to keep it off. They need a response. They don't need it soon though, still 4 minutes left, and both teams are just kind of trying to feel each other out right now. T-Jack has something off the sidewall, passes over to AK, easily read by ISO, gets in the way of the play. Up to the midfield, not really able to find anything. Goes over to T-Jack. That touch just taps it. Nothing really finding. The midfield passes there. That could have been a shot, but it just is played out to the midfield. No power behind it. And still just kind of both teams back and forth. Nothing really happening so far from that kickoff.
Yeah, no. That's a decent 50 there from ISO, but T-Jack's going to plow his way through that 50. And it's going to go on to AK. They're just going to take it slow. I really like that limited boost. Just forces that defender to come in and, you know, technically panic. T-Jack, though, not find the double there. One thing about this Flyers team that we saw earlier is 2 players go missing, but T-Jack did not expect the player in front of him to go missing as well, so he goes back flipping. And a missed opportunity could result in a goal, as CTN could not get the save. The Buffalo are up by 2 in game 1.
That is not the sequence of events you want if you're the Flyers. Had an opportunity to tie it. Everyone on their team kind of got starry-eyed on the ball. He had second and third man bunched up, and then just an absolute flop on the defensive line, and all of a sudden now they're down 2, even with a bigger deficit, but still not a big time gap to find it. 3 minutes, more than enough time to find 2 goals, maybe even a third one to end in regulation, but they're going to need to find something and get back together, because that's not the good showing so far. First 2 minutes haven't really been in their favor. That ball almost being dangerous as well. Now out to their backboard. AK again taking possession of the ball. You were saying earlier, I really like that from him, just especially with the way that this Buffalo squad plays. Just, I mean, so chasey, so demo heavy. To slow the ball down like that is such a chokehold for their quick and aggressive offense. You see Sear up for that one, not able to get contact. CTN now touch. Just trying to slow the play down. No one on Buffalo really going for this. ISO just playing patient. See CTN touch out to the corner, getting some offense going. That pass is middle shot on target. What an angle from T-Jack. Hits an upside down redirect.
And that's a good response for the Flyers. CTN finding T-Jack. Just perfect placement on the redirect. ISO limited boost had pretty much none. And you're not going to save that from the position you're in. I mean, even with boost from that position, it's difficult to block that.
The way he placed
shot.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just an incredible 1-2 passing play, and Flyers really good at doing that. But, I mean, I was going to mention earlier in their series against Brainerd, as AK might have a chance. CTN, but he hits the bar. T-Jack follows it. It's going to go in. No boost on the side of the Buffalo. The Flyers get back-to-back, but, you know, they had overcommitting issues in that victory series at the start. Right now, we don't see it just yet. We saw, you know, we saw physicality attempts from the Flyers, but rarely did we see it actually impact a goal. So I'm wondering if they're going to even need that right now, because right now they might just take a 3-goal swing, just like they did, just like the Brainerd victory did in that game number 1 against them, as they went up 2-0 and then dropped 3 straight. So the Flyers coming back with a lot of momentum right now. Free shot for T-Jack, tried to put it behind ISO, but it's going to be off the mark. And now, as things get settled down, Buffalo got to find themselves some boost and some confidence, because right now their defense looks a bit shaky.
Yeah, and I mean, what even looks almost equally as shaky. Nice recovery from T-Jack, whole power side, able to get another touch on the ball, but I mean, almost equally as shaky is Flyers offense. I mean, they had 3 open looks at a net, and they all went high, except the last one, who just barely went under the crossbar. Had to place it. Defenders were there, but I mean, you saw earlier, T-Jack just moments earlier had a 1v1 opportunity, kind of had most of the net available to him, just not able to make a contact with the ball. I mean, they might also just be warming up into this series, trying to get their nerves out. Because from last series, that doesn't. Yeah. Oh, that's a good pass though. Oh, I thought AK missed for a second. Goes in off the post. Beautiful passing play coming up from T-Jack. Again, just so much space given by Buffalo. Flyers are not banging the ball away, and I think that's what Buffalo play to. They play for those bangs, they play for those clears, and when you slow it down, when you take possession like that, they just look silly.
Yep, and they're finding each other too. Multiple goals have been scored off of finding each other in the midfield and getting those passing plays down, and that's 3 straight for the Flyers. And with about 35 seconds remaining, Buffalo have not had an answer since the beginning of the game. And as the Flyers go back onto offense, ETN looking for the midfield again. ISO just
Flip
waiting.
reset.
Goes for the flip reset. Gonna get denied by Sear. As T-Jack wants to follow through with that double. ISO gets the touch. Irish now. Just a clear downfield. That's not gonna work against this Flyers team with 12 seconds left. Goes out to ISO, like the pass attempt, but it's gonna be denied. That Flyers defense, one of the best in Rising Star as well. So it's not going to be easy to get past them whatsoever. They're going to have to keep this up at 0 seconds. AK going to fire one towards
shot.
net. As game number 1 looks to be going in favor of the Flyers, as it's still
How
up,
in the world?
But I don't think you have enough boost if you're the Buffalo to get this all the way downfield.
Still up.
As Irish keeps it up. T-Jack going to keep it up as well, I guess. ISO gets a beat. CTN gonna touch to the
there it
ground though.
goes.
They needed him to miss and some other things to happen for them to tie the game there. But the Flyers take game number 1 after a sluggish start, but then they get 3 straight and they seal game 1.
Yeah, I mean, just off that kickoff was a bit of an awkward, just flutter, and kind of a similar situation that happened too, where they got starry-eyed and just kind of cluttered together. If they're not overcommitting like that, they don't really look to be in that big of danger. Aside from the start of the game, they look to be very in control of it, especially with the passing plays, using each other so much more. Whereas Omaha just feel like they just try to create space for solo plays and try to play it through. But when Flyers are controlling the ball like they are, I don't think that that's going to work really well against them.
Yeah, no. The Buffalo, I mean, they had the kickoff goal at the start. It was a gimme because of a weird cheat. And then they got another one. But, I mean, after that, it was just all the Flyers. Not only that, I mean, they were down 2, but they controlled the rest of that game. They scored 3 goals on top of it, too. And that's, you know, a victory that you definitely need to have. You don't want to be dropping game 1 to the underdogs, because that's when they'll find some sort of momentum. You have to kind of squeeze the hope away from the underdogs in this one. But for the Buffalo, I mean the Flyers, they're not. I mean, they could play to eliminate them, but right now they've already clinched first seed. That's a crazy sidewall read from ISO that ends up going to Irish here, who's gonna look to pass it down, loses their dodge. It's not gonna be able to do much with that. Sear commits. T-Jack gets bumped off of the ball though, but he's gonna try to follow it up. Cannot carry his momentum towards the ball as ISO goes for the solo play. They're like in a flying V. He's got no support there.
Yeah, there's no one.
There's one out on each wing for the pass, and ISO wants to solo play and either take a 50 or, you know, set up a teammate. You got to have support there.
Yeah, I mean, the solo play isn't the bad decision, especially in that scenario. What a free flip! T-Jack gets there in time. CTN having a similar one like that earlier on against Victory. And now, what a fake. But I mean, yeah, solo play not the issue there. Both of his teammates just got.
Yep.
I think Starryard's an understatement. They were preemptively just, a flying V. ISO, that's just such an unorthodox position, and you're really not going to get anything out of that most of the time.
No. And
so,
the pass is too predictable, I think. And when you position yourself upfield like that, I mean, it's okay every once in a while, maybe for like a cherry pick situation or for like an outlet pass, but
they do it every time.
It's so predictable when you've got limited wiggle room. You have to literally get the pass has to go through cleanly, and the shooter has to get a perfect touch for it to even be a play. If it goes wrong,
what a dunk.
You're overcommitted, and it's a bad spot that you're in. So the Flyers now getting back onto offense. CTN, I like that he wasn't going to be able to score that double, so he kind of left it. Unfortunately, a teammate wasn't going to be there, but I think that was the right choice. CTN going to look for AK, who pops it to the backboard. Backwards triple commit from the Buffalo. T-Jack, it's going to be off the mark, though.
It's off target.
As AK gonna cut this one as ISO and another Buffalo player. A lot of commits going down for the Buffalo, and you got to have the most composure right now since you are still in this game, as it's still 0-0. I mean, they're just jumping for no reason. There's a backflip. Irish does catch it, flicks it over one. T-Jack and AK both commit. ISO, though, gets a touch back. Seer tried to find ISO. What a touch to the backboard it goes. CTN gets bumped. ISO wants the ball, but Irish gonna take that one instead, as I think ISO kind of wants to be this front runner. First man could have an opportunity here, but no boost. Gonna get denied, as the Buffalo are starting to find some sort of, not really offense, but they're keeping the ball in their zone.
Yeah, I mean, I still those demos coming out. Those are what I know them for playing against them, but only just starting to come out here late into game 2. And they haven't resulted in anything. Still 0-0. I think Flyers' defense is just too structured. They're just rotating out so wide. They're securing their corner boosts. And even have any of that. They're taking possession of the ball. You see CTN dancing around defenders. Now it's in their corner. They have to play it out. T-Jack ready for it, though. Beautiful touch out. Keeps it close. Forces here to go over him. CTN plays that ball. Now out to the corner. AK has a beat opportunity. Does get it. Goes out to the middle. ISO scrambling back. Gets in the way now, Seer. Beautiful 50 out. Gives AK some space. Just up to go. I like that play. Just going for the boost steal. Realizes that Irish doesn't really have anything on that ball. CTN, beautiful pass out. T-Jack with the shot. ISO reading the play, rotates into the right spot, gets the save to keep them alive, but only for how long? That shot off the mark. No one there to clean it up, and that was their ticket to take a 2-game series lead, as ISO might punish them for it, but gets denied.
Now with only 40 seconds left, ISO behind the ball. It's someone you want to see behind the ball if you're the Buffalo. He's had some opportunities, but mainly he's just been first man. It's open.
Are you
but
kidding me?
Skied it with the dominance, and
Oh,
T-Jack
no.
goes missing as well. AK now to the post. They miss. It's a 50 from T-Jack, but AK commits as well. Counter attack from ISO top left, but it goes off. 20 seconds left. AK might have one last chance, as it's gonna go nicely for Irish
that's
here.
not
Plays
good.
it over the defender. Love
That's
this
not
play.
good.
The bump comes out.
That's not
Can
good.
he get it? CTN with 0 boost is able to make the save. And with 5 seconds left, T-Jack gotta hope to keep it up here, as it does roll up the corner. 50 goes out. CTN kicks it mid. AK's there for the shot. And the Flyers take it away in game number 1 at 0 seconds.
It goes the length of the field 3 times before finally finding the back of the net. What a shot from AK. They weren't able to put it away on any of the opportunities they had on any of the other opens, but they find it there. Eventually, it goes in, and Flyers... I mean, I just feel like it's about a better, well-rounded team. All of their plays, all of their goals are off of passes, team plays, team pressure, versus Omaha. I think they rely so much on ISO just to solo play, and then they just try to play cleanup. But against a Flyers team like this, you're going to need every single one of your players having value on the play other than just playing a support role for one player.
Yeah, and I mean, they're kind of not even playing support, but I don't kind of blame them. There's times when, looks like Irish or Seer have the ball pretty clearly, but ISO is desperate to have that ball under his control once again, and so they're caught, double, triple committing in those cases on the goal line. But it's just kind of all over the place right now. I do think it's difficult. I think if you're the Buffalo, you don't want ISO kind of as your main first man, because you know him for his solo play capability, and I think that's really what's gonna decide.
You can't
this
solo
game.
play it if you're right. You can't solo play it if you're
support.
chasing the right.
And if
You
you're
don't.
chasing the ball, you don't have boost. So like Seer and Irish need to be able to play, hopefully around that. And they had 4 demos last game as a team. Hopefully they get more of that, because that's kind of the key right now. You kind of need, that physicality to work well. And on top of that, to fix your positioning, you got to fix a lot of things. Your positioning, your commits, everything's kind of going bad, and it's difficult against the #1 team in Rising Star. And I don't know if they're going to be able to fix it here, as they're already down by 2-0 in the series. They are on offense, though, as this one goes out to Isa, who's going to shoot it on net. T-Jack gets the shot. Irish wins the 50, but AK going to clear it all the way downfield. Should be... Oh, Seer doesn't get that boost. AK steals it from him, and now it's awkward in front of the net. AK can't put it in, but CTN does, and I don't know how the boost doesn't go to Seer there.
I mean, even still, just a beautiful team play on both ends of the field. You see every single player getting involved in defense, forcing 50s, catching Omaha, overcommitted, and then turn it down the other way, and all 3 players getting involved on the offensive end, ping-ponging around between them before finally someone finds a shot as another one falls through. Just make it rain down goals back-to-back. 2-0 lead in this game, 2-0 lead in the series, trying to make it 3. And... I mean, yeah, ISO looking, he wants the ball, but I don't think if players realize this, but I mean, the most mechanical players that play this game, right? You look at Zen, he's a third man.
Yeah.
He is, every single play he makes is off of a 50 or off of a demo or pressure that one of their first men make on the play. He usually plays a deep second or a close third. And it's not just chase the ball, beat everybody to it, because like you said, you don't have any boost, and you don't have any goals right now either. If you're Buffaloes, just another one rains down as I mean, this just, again, team play. Everyone, just better communication with Flyers. They just have more trust in each other and leads to another goal. But if you're constantly chasing the ball, if you're constantly trying to force things, not only do you have boost, but most of the time you don't have possession. You're having to go through defender after defender, just trying to force your way through it. And then once you do, you're left with nothing. So, yeah.
And I mean, with Zen's dynamic, he's incredible, but you know, definitely not a lonely effort there on that team with Alpha 54. I mean, Radosin literally is pre-jumping, likes to pre-jump bump whenever Zen has the ball. He's that confident in Zen. And you know, it's a well-oiled machine, and I think for the Buffalo right now, you don't have that as well as the Flyers do right now. Unfortunately, it was kind of like a bad start to this game 3. You know, you had the T-Jack dunk, who was preemptively waiting on Sears' touch across the net, that ended up being a goal. Then they got a kickoff goal, and then they scored again.
What happened?
It's off the post. What? 3 minutes left. ISO puts it right. Sear can't get it.
Find one.
And I mean, I just think the Flyers' defense, I think everything about them is just a more solid team. That's a bad bounce, though. Sear, top right. Gonna give some life to the Buffalo here in game number 3. They're gonna need more where that came from.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think Flyers are a better team. That one going to the bounce, just, yeah, like you said, just unfortunate off that little ramp. Kind of hard to read where that one's gonna go. But yeah, on both ends of the pitch, they don't have the individual play maybe that ISO has, but it doesn't matter because it's not like it's being utilized really at all. ISO doesn't really have any solo play goals. There you go. There's a shot coming through off a kickoff.
Did he
I think it looked like Sear had it. It looked like, Sear touched it.
He hit it into him?
He hit it into him. It's just barely chaos on the goal line. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, they have their way back in this game, though, off of just scrambles in front of the goal line. 2-3 now with a little over half the game left. It's not out of the cards. CTN almost pinching one down, but I just think that, I don't know, especially 2-0 up in the series. I don't want to call it early, but Flyers, they look so well played together. As I say that, what a passing play and what a shot from CTN.
Yeah, and just as the Buffalo get 2 to their name, T-Jack to CTN,
120 kills. Oh my gosh.
And it's just picture perfect almost every time on this Flyers team. It seems like every time they pass, they're almost always successful if the pass is good, and that'll get them back within 2, killing all of that Buffalo's momentum as ISO gets a crazy touch, but that doesn't really accomplish anything. AK gets a touch. T-Jack now. Sear's gonna throw it away. T-Jack looking to bump him out of the way. AK didn't trust it at first. I don't blame him because there were multiple Buffalo players in that area. Difficult to read who was gonna go forward. But right now, Flyers have a 2-goal lead. CTN, big 50, should open up T-Jack for a free ball. Only 40 boost to work with, but he's going to ceiling pass it down to CTN. It's on
What a
target, and they
pass.
can't get back. The Flyers have found the connection between CTN and T-Jack, and they are both... I mean, it's again. It happened again. They've got that chemistry, man. It's all there.
It was the same. It was the same play just earlier. It was the same passer and the same striker. Now back at it again. I mean, T-Jack did most of the work that time. Just basically put it in a spot where all CTN had to do is just touch the ball towards the net. There's no defenders in the way of that. Just absolute illusion with the sailing shot. The defense is shuddering in fear, trying to wonder if he's going to put it on target. He just gives it to his teammate. Now off of a kickoff. Beautiful beat by CTN. Passes here. Again, all 3 players involved in the play. They're feeling themselves. The chemistry's there. The team play is there. They have everything that Omaha doesn't have, including a series lead and a goal lead in this game.
4-goal lead. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely not. It wasn't the best start to the game. They had 2 goals go their way though, but then it all kind of crumbled apart within the last few goals as ISO tries to kick that one to Sear, but it's cleared away, and there's so much time given to the Flyers right now, who Irish there respecting the shot from T-Jack. I mean, he can put it in from almost anywhere, so you kind of have to. But right now, you can't be on defense. You got to be on offense. I think at this point, it's too late to start thinking about getting back into this one. Maybe one for the road as Irish goes missing.
Especially with that whiff.
And AK gonna find the back of the net again as Irish laps it off. The Flyers up by 5 in game number 3 and look to go on to match point, and we could potentially see the second sweep in a row.
I mean, here I don't think that they can reverse sweep. I'm really not trying to diss them, but just with how team orientated Flyers are and how not team orientated Buffalo are, I think that Flyers just win, especially in a 7-game series, especially when they have a 3-game lead. But I'm curious, do Buffalo take back a game at all during the series? Do they take one back next game? Do you think that they can steal one out from Flyers?
I think they can. You know, it tends to go. It's kind of weird how this game number 3 is. You know, it's a 6-goal difference. Usually, when we get deeper into the series, the games get closer. Teams feel more comfortable with each other. Even the teams down by teams down 0-3, they typically have a really close like game 3 or 4. This game 3, not even close. As T-Jack in the air for that pass from CT, and they make it 10. They were going to score that one from there. But it doesn't really matter what they do at this point. They've got game 3 secured. I mean, the Buffalo, they've got a. I mean, we talked about how the Flyers are just a better team overall. They haven't really needed to use physicality yet, which is kind of scary. They haven't needed to go to that route yet, and they still have that in their back pocket as ISO gonna get one for the road at 0 seconds.
I was gonna say we're gonna go to Barcelona with the scoreline, but last second play by ISO puts it just out of reach.
Ankles hurt.
All the players in the lobby just laughing it off. I want to see if they just carry that casual kind of energy into game 4, or if Omaha are going to try to take it more seriously. But either way, I don't. It's not even. Sometimes a reverse sweep can kind of just feel like climbing up a steep hill, right? This one feels like you're climbing up Mount Everest if you're Omaha. I don't know. Especially, don't know if that's going to happen.
Especially after that game 3, it would have kind of felt the same way if the Flyers had still won, but this was a 5-goal game in game number 3, and this late in the series, you can't really have results like that. You kind of need to get back into the game, and Omaha in the past, I think they've had the demo lead over. I mean, the Flyers have only had like 1-2 in these last couple of games on stats, but the Omaha Buffalo I've been seeing them drop 4 or 5 demos in these games. It's just not enough. They need to double that. They need to prevent the Flyers from going 8 for 14 against them. That's a start, and they need to get more shots of their own, and they need everything to go the complete opposite way that happened in that last game, especially. So we head into game number 4. Buffalo, season on the line. Can they pull out anything special? We're gonna have to see now, as Irish says in chat, he's gonna time to turn his monitor on as Seer goes into dominance as well. ISO gonna go missing there. But the Buffalo have to start out early if they want to have a chance to, even start with a game.
Yeah, and already
no.
offense looking.
Oh, he missed.
AKO just had an open. T-Jax is gonna find it. So it's Irish. What?
What is this
How is that
defense?
It turns out from it open, I thought that was just going to be a roller in, but he finds the defensive save off of a rebound shot off the dunk as well. And they stay alive off a miraculous save, but how long are they going to stay alive for? Another defensive save. ISO this time. AK shot blocked by Seer. The defense is unrelenting, but the offense just, they're still trying here. Still not off their defensive line. Seer takes a 50. Out in the open space, T-Jack plays that one out to CTN, gets it out to the backboard, can't find the double. ISO finds a touch out, and they finally get some counterattack, but it's just not enough. And so much pressure early on coming out from Flyers.
As AK goes for sidewall read there, and I mean they're hanging on just barely, which this could be an opportunity. Seer jumps for it, CTN beats him to the left side. Irish gonna wait in net as he's pre-jumping. He does get a touch to prevent T-Jack from getting that one as T-Jack tries to bump out the defenders. ISO in the air, one-on-one. This is where he's most deadly. Flip reset attempt saved by CTN. His defense throughout this bracket, especially in the second wing. I mean, they didn't do their best in week one. But week two, I mean, we saw that pre-flip save just in that quarterfinal against the Brainerd victory. T-Jack putting that one in front of the net, going to be denied. But I mean, CTN's defense, it seems like even if his offense is off just like a tiny bit, his defense has been there to back him up. And this entire team is just doing so well as
just finds its way
in the air. Gonna just get one more touch, and that's all that they need. ISO didn't get the most powerful touch. It's off the ceiling, and he gets another touch, and ISO doesn't know where T-Jack's going with that one.
Yeah, just caught in the middle of the net. Not the spot you want to be in at all. Especially when you're facing, but it's just such an awkward trick to try to save the ball. And all really T-Jack had to do is get one more touch, and now they have 1-goal lead here in game 4. It might be all they really need. There's just barely above half the game left. CTN trying to take this one down the field. Multiple 50s coming out. That pinch going towards the half of Seer, but he has no boost, can't get to it. Now out to the middle, passes, finding its way through. For Flyers, has no boost, almost makes the contact on the pre-flip. Now another pass coming through. Collects the boost, gets it up the sidewall. What does he have? Gets dunked by Seer. Now counterattack brewing for Omaha, trying to find at least something here. Unable to find anything though. CTN is another beautiful defensive challenge, and you're talking about CTN about his defensive standing, and that's usually the issue a lot of lower ranked, I say lower ranked, all of these players are GC plus, but I'll issue even in towards that lower GC ranges, the defense can be really, really shaky. So to have a more consistent defensive player on especially just a good, well-rounded team that can hit those shots as we saw in game 3, such a beautiful player to have on your team. Every single one of these players on Flyers is just a beautiful player to have on your team.
Oh yeah.
As they're just looking to coast through this game 4 and to take it.
Yeah, I mean, they're up by 1, and they have numbers now as Irish going to turn on it, but it's not fast enough. AK is going to get there in time. They had numbers. Unfortunately, the ball wasn't really in their possession as Seer finds ISO to tie up the game with 1:21 left. Hanging on by the hair of their chinny chin chin. They tie the game. They're still down by 4 games, but I mean, there's a start. You got to tie it.
It's not over yet. They have a chance. It's tied. But Flyers, maybe they wake up a little bit more. They kind of took their foot off the gas pedal a little bit. Missed some open nets, but we'll see what they have. CTN looking to pressure this ball. ISO hanging on to it. Gets bumped off. CAK taking his time with this. Beautiful touch out. Plays it down to himself off the ceiling. Shot finds his way through. Irish, another save. CTN now. Backboard. Gets his way around ISO. T-Jack is there to clean it up. And just like that, they get their goal right back.
Irish gets the save, but it's still dangerous, and CTN puts it in a difficult spot for ISO to get to as he was rushing back. Didn't know how fast that shot was going to come at the end result. and could not get the read off of the backboard. None of the Buffalo could stop that one from going in, and with a minute left, that is killer, as they're going to have to try to find their way back into this one where goals seem scarce, as ISO with a huge clear downfield. T-Jack over to the left side finds CTN. Their clears are huge right now, and the Buffalo are they're not able to really do anything with the clears that the Flyers give them, because they put them into super awkward spots where they're not comfortable controlling it from, where the ball is bouncing. And, with dunks like this, I mean, AK, all three of these players have been phenomenal. AK is not afraid to full commit, even a risky ball sometimes, and just play for that dunk. But ISO to the backboard, CTN reads it well. Preach the defense on this man. He's had his success in Prospect, but not really in Rising Star up until this season, as his team not only has
what a bounce.
secured LAN at the first seed in Season 8, he secured himself a double touch and a Grand Finals appearance in Major 1.
Yeah, what a way to finish it off, talking about the man himself. Hits a nice little double tap at 0 seconds. ISO instantly leaping as soon as the ball crosses the goal line. They find their way, and they find, and Bloomington, as I was talking about earlier, Bloomington was relying on Flyers to take this, because now Omaha doesn't find themselves in play-in bracket. I don't think they qualify to have even a chance at LAN. I think they're just short. Maybe by even 1 point. But I don't think that this was unexpected from Flyers. I expected Omaha to at least take one game. I just know how aggressive they can be with their demos.
Mm-hmm.
But they just seemed... There were some games where they did get a string of demos. They got around 6, but it wasn't really spread out across the game. They had like a minute and a half where they started demoing, and then kind of just didn't do it for the rest of the game. I was expecting more aggression out from them, especially the physicality side, even though they were physical. They just seem kind of flat, and I think that's less about on them. It's more about on the Flyers, just because they're such a good, well-rounded team.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the result we were gonna, predict at the end of it all, especially considering how good the Flyers are. But that only leaves one match remaining, and it's gonna be the Jungle awaiting the Flyers. A very hot Jungle, the most hot we've ever seen them in the finals, awaiting the St. Cloud Flyers, who are playing for pride at this point, because unfortunately the Jungle are just a few points short if they do end up winning it all here in terms of that land spot, but could go well for their seeding if they do win it all. I mean, a top 2 is already good enough, I'd say. But we will get back to you guys after a short break to see who wins the Rising Star Major Grand Final.
walking home, I've seen so many people go. Learn to make it on my own. It's easier for me to be alone. So how are you? Keep cutting through, claiming you're not like the other guys. And only if I could give you a chance, show me that you mean it, we'll feel some type of way. Why do you keep chasing clouds? Better leave before I feel something. Before I go and change my mind. I said, why do you keep chasing clouds? Better leave before I feel something. Before I go and change my mind. Something must be wrong with me. Keep wanting just to see you show up at my door. Et même quand je suis froide, un peu indifférent, tu continues tout de même de montrer tes efforts. I'm trying to keep my heart in peace. I just can't think but the way that I feel. It's too hard to trust. I mess it up. I just can't risk to be falling like this. So why do you keep chasing clouds? Before I go and change my mind.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the Rising Star Major, the final dance before LAN. And there's 3 of us on the screen. We've been here throughout the entire night for you, bringing you the action that is this Rising Star bracket. It has been a complete and utter just an insane run, really, from both of these teams that have made this major final. Specifically, one team, but for the other team, they've already clinched their LAN spot. And Brock, I mean, this is just for the icing on the cake, really.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going up against the number 1 team standings wise in the St. Cloud Flyers, and then the miraculous run from the jungle. I mean, we saw hints of it a couple of weeks back when Debu was going crazy. I mean, their whole team started to go crazy, and it's all been put together right now, leading up to this moment. And even though this won't change the fact that the St. Cloud Flyers and the Brainerd Victory both have already auto-qualled for Season 8 LAN in Rising Star, I think this is a big pride moment for the jungle, considering they've made it this far. They've had to fight. I mean, that quarterfinal match to start them off, I mean, they were down 1-3, and they ended up coming back and beating a very strong Hibbing team. So for them to be here, it's very important. At this point, I think both teams are playing for pride. Nothing will really change except for seeding at the end of this one, Ari.
Yeah, Jungle are actually waiting on.
Chicago never got pinged, so that's on me. I pinged.
Speaking of Chicago,
I pinged St. Cloud twice on accident. So, we were supposed to start a couple minutes ago, but regardless,
Grant in the bathroom.
It happens. Grant is in the bathroom. Yeah, that's fine. But Brock, if we could look at the bracket, that'd be great.
Yes.
If possible for us, and I think I gave you a new one, Big Dog. I
don't think you did.
It's right there. It's that one.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
that.
Hidden.
You goofball. It's
hidden.
hidden. It's hidden. It's hidden. Regardless. We have it. It's gonna update now for you. Whoa, it in real time. That's so cool. We've got the jungle and the Flyers in the grand finals. Both teams swept in the semifinals, Brock.
Yeah,
and
that saved us.
That's interesting to see, because that saved us. Yeah, that definitely kept us on track. That's for sure.
But I mean, kind of some. I think expected for the semifinals. For the lower semifinals, that semifinal 2, where the Flyers 4-0'd the Buffalo. I mean, the Buffalo got literally a free forfeit win to the semifinals with no warm up. You can't really ask for much, especially. I mean, on top of that, they were the underdogs in that matchup, from what we've seen in the past and standings wise. But the jungle, on the other hand, they made the Steelhawks look silly. They had a miraculous win over the Rangers, and now they're here in the grand finals. So we should have a really good match on our hands. And I'm expecting not a sweep. What is happening in chat?
Dude, I don't know what they're doing in chat anymore.
They're having fun,
down,
okay?
children.
Leave them alone. Leave them alone. We have to.
They are.
Leave them alone.
In my Rocket League chat.
Hey, leave them
What is
alone.
this?
Yeah, and
The hell?
we have to now show what these teams are playing for, the points. We got to figure out what
Yes.
the points are, and here's the points. And first place, obviously getting 20, 16 for second. So one of these teams getting 21, getting 16. So you get second place, not too bad. I think the jungle right now are playing for seeding for Plains, which is really really large actually for them. And
Because I mean, they're pretty far down still in terms of.
yeah, they were in 8th place. They were at 7 and 8 before the major started. So with how many points they're getting, this is huge, really, really massive for them. A base of 16, which, looking at the standings for Season 8 for Rising Star, 16, that can bump you up all the way up to almost 5th, actually, with... It depends on, I don't know if it can. It may bump you up a couple spots almost, but...
They can pass the Atlas, it looks like.
That's about it. Because
well,
it looks like
if they win, they'd tie with Fargo and Hibbing. So,
okay. Well, that's
where
at
that
least a
stands.
better spot. But
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta get some predictions now for this grand final, and you can throw it back to us, Brock, if you want
Jungle in
to.
4.
Nope, never doing that.
Jungle in 4.
I'm
Give me
going
a
jungle in
4.
6. I'm going jungle in 6.
It's difficult. I mean, the Flyers had a relatively easy match compared to their quarterfinal match, which was the top 2 teams in Rising Star in points. But I'm gonna give it to Jungle, but I'm gonna say 7. I don't think it's gonna be this free.
You think we go
for the
7?
Jungle. Yeah,
You think we go 7 with the
distance
performance?
or a game 6 overtime. It's not gonna be a sweep. We can't have a sweep in the grand finals.
Nope, Jungle in 4.
This isn't Vitality BDS.
Nope,
This is not
Jungle
gonna be
in
a
4.
I don't
bad
care.
show. All right.
I don't care.
I'm ready for some great
Or we
Rocket League.
jungle in 4.
But I want the Jungle to win, man. I mean, they got the underdog story. The Flyers already have it all. They've got it done. They could go to bed. They could forfeit
yeah,
this
they
grand
don't
final.
need
It wouldn't
anything.
matter.
And obviously, go ahead, Ori.
I mean, I do like ironically think it's 4, but I unironically think it's jungle because I just mean like both these teams are good, well-rounded teams, and both of them can show such a good positioning as well. All 3 of them playing so well together. Flyers though showing that dunk from AK is just a monster play. The confidence of pre-jump, that touch is crazy. Rebounds there. Good start from Flyers, but I mean, I just think jungle just are more talented individually, roster-wise. I think just mechanically, individually, there's just so much. You see Debut, you saw everybody from the last time you watched jungle just doing nice plays. The shot's just not there, and yeah, I mean that's why I prefer jungle. I just think that they have more. It's not just mechanics. It's overall, I just think that they're more individually talented.
I mean, it's a great back pass from Debu and Jonah, but they're going to start down 1-0 here. I mean, looking at this, the 1-0 score line, I think that, yes, we all pick jungle for the reason of we want the underdog to win, but I just think that they're not an underdog at this point. They have shown that they can take these top teams to the poorhouse, but so far it's been St. Cloud on a blistering start. They obviously just played, so they're still warm. Jungle had a solid break between their series and the last one, and that scares me because, I mean, they could cool down between then and now, but Debu so far,
What a 50.
giving them a touch. Grant just hits the post, and it's a tough angle. Trying to get on the inside of that ball, just can't get it as Debu tries to get by CTN, but St. Cloud with the 1-0 lead still holding on, but that was a scare and a half, that's for sure, as that's just plays well from AK. It's a good pass.
Yep, it's a great pass, and we've seen T-Jack. I mean, now it's at T-Jack and AK. We saw CTN and T-Jack connect with each other quite a bit in that last series, so against the Buffalo, and a 2-0 lead for the Flyers. Not the best start for the jungle. They had 2 people back. They could not get the save. They were pretty frustrated. It seemed like a little bit of a mistake there from the jungle as about halfway approaches in game number 1. And the jungle have yet to get on the board, but it might change here. Debu could not get a touch into a good spot as CTN and T-Jack both commit. They've got numbers. Here comes the demo. Debu chasing him down, bumps him, but AK somehow gets the save, and now T-Jack comes in and blocks it away.
Jonah not having any boost, he couldn't really get around the ball, really do anything with it besides just put it straight forward. I think AK realized that when he saw Debu kind of just panic flipping behind the ball. Ends up getting over the demo and getting the save. Jonah
that
almost got
worked.
bumped into a shot there. That would have been crazy. But jungle on their back foot again. Can they hold off? They do for now, but the shot comes through. So does the demo, so does the pass, and so does the goal. AK there to finish it off.
And Jungle kind of panicking on their backline at this point. Debu goes missing. Grant's being harassed by T-Jack. Gets a touch, but AK just forces it through. And Jungle are kind of starting off a little bit slow, but Brainerd had that same thing against St. Cloud. And when Brainerd picked it up, they started to really push St. Cloud back. But The Flyers coming into this hot as ever, and the jungle just not waking up here early on. And I don't want to say we cursed them, but really just got to dial in the challenges at this point if you're the jungle.
I mean, the Flyers are up by 4 goals already, and you know that one doesn't help either. I mean, the Flyers in that previous series against the Buffalo, they had gotten themselves down.
Here's one.
Oh, it's on the post. Debu could have an opportunity here as T-Jack might just score an open net, catches Grant off guard. That counterattack way too fast. 5 goals for the Flyers, but I mean, the Flyers were, I think they were down by 2 to the Buffalo in one of the games, but they scored 3 straight in that game number 1 and just did what the victory did against them in that quarterfinal. But this time it does not matter at all because they're up by 5 goals in game 1.
Yeah, I think Jungle. Well,
I mean, you might as well just give him a 6th.
yeah, it doesn't matter.
All right then.
Close your eyes.
It's just.
It happens. I mean, it happens to the best of us. It happens to Zen. So,
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
Yeah,
anybody.
semifinal
It
versus
really
the
did
final,
happen to
more
Zen.
important than the RLCS World Championships. And what is that touch? How did it go that way? What? Someone
don't
want to
know.
explain that?
I don't have an explanation. I see 7 goals as
Brazil.
St. Cloud just won't slow down. But
We all we're cursed. We all predicted John.
I mean, it's only game 1,
I know,
and it's the
but-
best of 7.
But I mean, 7
And-
goals for 7 games.
These happen. These games happen, especially in Rising Star. People get all over the place. I think consistent is one word that can't define Rising Star. That's like one of the few things that doesn't really work. But I mean, so far Flyers have been consistent.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Jungle's also a consistent team. I just think they need to get their head in the game a little bit here. They're just using this, I guess, as a little bit of a scrimmage, a little bit of a warm up. But I mean, they're gonna have to find it soon because if this momentum carries into game 2, they're done for. I mean, that's just such a tough spot to be in, especially against Flyers. The games do not come easily against this squad.
And St. Cloud are winning a lot of these challenges that are going, awry for Chicago. They're hitting the ball into St. Cloud a ton, which is going to kill them in the long run because St. Cloud's just going to win, these 50s that go directly back into Chicago's net. But if Chicago can start playing these 50s a little bit smarter on where they're positioning, just hitting the ball around St. Cloud, they'll find a lot more success at getting the ball out of their half because. So, I mean, we've even seen with multiple teams is when St. Cloud gets on your half, they do not struggle to put the ball in the back of your net. So if you can limit their chances as much as possible, you won't see games like this happen as much as Debu looks for a bump and looking for 1 on the board, even a consolation, but a rout from St. Cloud in game 1 as they are red hot to start this grand final.
I mean, it's like
Both teams electing to keep the ball up at the end here. Jonah trying to put it downfield. He has the flip reset off the ceiling. What can he do? Gets it around T-Jack. Oh, doesn't have the power on it though. Fits the ground and Flyers.
Just looking for the Brazil there.
Yeah, I don't
they should have respected it.
really. I don't really know what to say here. Flyers. I mean, not only did Jungle get shut out, but they got scored on 7 times.
Shots that I'm seeing.
Oh man.
Not like Jungle didn't have their offensive opportunities either. They had shots. It wasn't just a complete slot. Like it wasn't just Jungle were just completely out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The defense just looked really. You saw a lot of people just doubling up, double committing, rotating in the same spot on the field, kind of panicking a little. I don't know. Flyers are coming off of a really nice sweep against Buffalo, so they are a lot more hot than Jungle is. So maybe Jungle just looking to get kind of warmed up as well. But how long is that going to take them? I mean, they had a lot of time this game to really ponder because 7 goals, all those replays of the goals, it's a long time. But yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to see what they have coming here into game 2 because if they come in weak again, I honestly. I don't want to call the series there because it's only 2-0, but with the... What are they doing? What are they doing anymore?
They're not joining.
I don't know. Are they
not
juggling?
joining.
I mean, I don't know why they're juggling it. Or I'm pretty sure we're all in here.
Grant.
Except for Grant. Grant's the only one who didn't get in. There he is. As he's able to get in, and Chicago able to kick off game number 2. They didn't score in that first game, and that scares me a little bit because if they can't get their offense going, it's going to be a tough hill to climb against St. Cloud.
Yeah, and I mean that game 1. I mean, just reminding me back in the Winter Major when FaZe played Carmine Corp, and Carmine Corp just absolutely dominated them. But then FaZe came back and had a nice game that was not like 7-0.
Right.
And Debu now scoring off of pretty much a kickoff. So that is their first goal. And I mean, even though it's kind of a gimme, it's much needed.
It's amazing what FaZe can accomplish when they put more than 10 hours into the game.
This is true. Oh my.
Debu almost finding another one. This guy has known to been very much a streak goal scorer. He had a hat trick in a game. And the series before this, I think he averaged almost 2 goals a game, if not more than 2. Absolutely crazy. Statistically wise, that was an open opportunity. I just realized CTN is using an absolute eyesore.
It's the grog. That's a good one. That's the grog. That's a scare. My bad. Shut up. It's a grog. It doesn't matter.
That's the scarab.
It's a car.
Scarab.
Doesn't matter. Nobody uses it. Who uses that car? Yes. Nobody. Exactly.
Trying to mimic the ball. Maybe he can try to, be one with it. To sync up with it, get more.
Be one with the ball.
Yeah, be one with the ball.
if MCS had a quotes channel, that would be in there. Be one with the ball or yards.
Be one with the ball.
Somebody
gotta even mimic the structure of it becoming a round spherical missile across the field. Trying to find demos here, not finding anything though. Jonah, leaving this for Debu. We all know what Debu can do. Mustly flick over to Grant. Doesn't find contact, but the fake out's there. Bounce off the ceiling's dangerous. Jonah's shot put away by CTN. Clears it off the sidewalk. Gets another beautiful follow-up touch. 2 players up on the redirect. That's a bit of an overcommit. And Jungle looks to try to counterattack with this.
And they need to. St. Cloud barely overcommit, and that was a moment right there. And as 50s go out, that's a really good second touch from Jonah, but T-Jack's going to be there. And I think the Jungle, they need to avoid these awkward situations on defense where they start to panic. That's when we really see the weakness of this Jungle's team, and we need to see them with more confidence and more so on offense. Got to be careful, with overextending, but you just gotta, on defense, you have to play aggressive, or else you can't give this Flyers team too much space. We're gonna see those passing plays come out. We're going to see bumps, demos, literally anything that you can imagine from the Flyers side if you give them that space. As that's a really good demo from T-Jack. Pre-flips past it, though. Debu spawns there. Now Debu is off when he pre-jumps and is going to miss. As this one goes into the zone, Jungle now on offense. Jonah with a big dunk. Debu now looking to turn maybe, as this one will go to the right wall. It should go up as Debu looks to follow it. Gonna back up on it and let Grant touch it off the wall as AK follows it up, as that's a good touch from CTN, but Debu now behind the ball. Flyers, unfortunately, though, back onto offense. The Jungle in a difficult spot here. They do get a touch with 0 boost. As this one goes central once again, the Jungle, it's a really good clear. They need to just immediately get out of those defensive modes that they get themselves in, because it's a rabbit hole that they dig themselves every single time they get in them.
And St. Cloud is overextending, like we saw in the Brainerd series. They are overextending on a lot of these chances that they're creating for themselves. You see T-Jack, how deep he went into that corner just to chase a ball that isn't really... There's 2 defenders on the backboard. It isn't going to yield him really anything except for a 50-50. And even he doesn't get it. I mean, you see now Chicago playing physical. Grant off the backboard, looking for the double. But Debu's demoed midfield. Clear all the way down. Jonah collects with low boost, though. Gives it to AK. It's off the backboard. T-Jack demos Debu again in the net, but the shot was wide. Grant's getting removed from T-Jack. They're trading demos midfield as everyone's removed from the field. And I loved how Debu spawned ball side and just takes it off of T-Jack's car. Just like, I'm here, by the way. I'm right here. I showed up. He just spawned in, but double commit from Jonah and Grant now midfield as 50 seconds left. CTN has a shot, another double commit, but T-Jack is a little late on the follow-up, and it's a massive dunk from Jonah, who gets one more touch across. CTN, shot, Debu, great job to leave it for Grant as they don't double commit that one, and as a result, Chicago clears the lines.
And Grant following it up as well.
Oh my.
Clearing it even farther, just
Such
holding
a good
on.
play.
Holding on to this 1-goal lead as long as they humanly possibly can, trying to make it through with this attack. The shot just off the post. But they maintain offensive possession. Grant with the 50 in the corner will keep them alive. 18 seconds left. What does Flyers have?
And I mean, they've got to keep control of this ball. They got to stay aggressive on offense. What is this play from Jonah?
No.
Can't keep control of it. Only 5 seconds left. T-Jack low boost. Can maybe get one more touch as it goes up. Bounces somewhat central, but Jonah is going to clear it out. And they go from losing 7-0 in game 1 to winning by 1 in game 2 with a complete, I mean, it's not a complete opposite turn of events, but I mean, a shutout their way. So that's game number 2.
I mean, Jungle are not going to go down easy. Yeah, 7-0. Now Flyers getting their shutout and only 2 shots. Wow. On the side of Flyers. That is ludicrously low for the amount of times that they've just completely put all 3 players forward in their corner on the goal line, demo chasing. To only have 2 shots come out from that aggression is really concerning.
Yeah. I mean, you see 4 saves on the side of St. Cloud, and we saw a couple post bounces from Chicago that Chicago could, if they kiss the post a little bit nicer, they may find more than just that one goal. I mean, Debu at the end there with 20 seconds left hit the post and it went out. But St. Cloud needs to clean it up on defense because from what I'm seeing, Chicago's getting a lot of opportunities on the front side of the top of the box right before the boost in the midfield. And if Chicago starts hitting those open shots, St. Cloud may not like where they're saving the ball because they're saving the ball straight up a ton right now, and it is hurting them a lot as Jonah gets another possession but has to deal with T-Jack all over him. CTN off the backboard out of the Scarab now and has decided to maybe lock it in as that's a shot far post and Jonah can't get there.
Well, it's not the Dominus, but he's in something else. Trying to figure out what that is.
That's the.
I can't see it. Wait, I want to spectate.
Looks like the ice charger.
We're looking at CTN. That's the Fast and Furious.
Is that the Dominus or the ice charger? I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is wide. It looks really, really wide. I don't know. It is Dominus hitbox.
I think. Maybe Breakout.
It's one of the. It's not the old. Oh
Hybrid?
no! Oh no! That's definitely it. That's the Dominus, or that's the ice charger. It looks different when you go in first person than like actually watching it. It's weird.
It's got a really, really wide. Yeah, Ori's right. Really, really wide hitbox. I think it's. I'm pretty sure it might be hybrid, but it
has Dominus.
I don't know.
I googled it.
Yeah. Okay, but
according to RocketLeague.com, it is the best.
Regardless, though, T-Jack with the second for St. Cloud, and he places that pretty well, and it's tough. It's a tough save for Chicago, but Chicago once again just can't get out of their half, and it's the clear game that's plaguing them right now. It's the reason game 1 was as lopsided as it was, and now game 3 is hurting them as well. But a huge miss from AK. Anyone home for Chicago to put it home off the backboard. It's gonna pinch, and that was an open chance that Chicago is going to be counting their lucky stars for that bounce.
I mean, fortunately for T-Jack, I mean, it bounces off of his car and it goes to the corner. I mean, T-Jack had very little control over where that ball was going to go. Had 0 boost, it bounced off of his car, but T-Jack on offense again. The Flyers go up by 3. And, it's a 3-0 lead this early. We're starting to get, some hints of game 1.
The issue is with going up this early, just barely over a minute gone. It leaves so much time for the other team to come back and win. It's not out of the cards. Jungle was able to hold.
Oh,
wow! That they needed that. That would have cut it down to 2 with this much time left. That's a huge sinking feeling. If you're Jonah not connecting on that ball, all he really had to do was hit it on target. He didn't even need to go for it that quickly. No one was pressuring him. No one was getting back in time. Just it's just really unfortunate.
And now they're kind of awkward on defense, though. Jonah gonna take a super wide approach 50. I don't know if that's what you're really looking for if you're the jungle, but you have yourself a free ball now in the corner. Jonah gets instantly blocked by T-Jack, and that's gonna make it difficult for the jungle to try to like slow down this play and control the ball. AK into the back of the net. The Flyers go up by 4.
St. Cloud just cannot do wrong at this point, and Chicago's getting beat to the ball in the midfield again. It's their second man that's playing way too a little bit passive, and nerves definitely got to be, you know, playing a factor here for Chicago. But Chicago got to lock it in here in this third game if they want to have a serious chance in this series to stay in, because they're getting caught a ton. And I mean, there's a 50 from Grant, able to get 2:44 to go, but still, it's got to be cleaner gameplay for Chicago, who need to settle down just a little bit.
I was saying this when they played earlier. It worked against I forget which team it was.
Fargo.
Jungle worked against Fargo. They were able to play a deeper second because Fargo was really bad on their defensive line with keeping control of it. They like to bang it a lot. AK just putting another one in. I don't even know what happened, but their second like to play a lot more passive. Just a double command on the back line. Just to try to collect the clears and play off the kind of giveaways of possession. But with the way Flyers are right now, yeah, they're banging the ball, but they're banging it to a teammate. They're playing it to open space where they can follow it up. So they're not really giving that deep second man an opportunity to really use that risky positioning of not being in the play to their advantage. In fact, they're turning it against them off those passing plays. You can only really block those if you have someone really far back, rotating back post, ready to save that really hard shot to use their momentum, or you have someone ready to go for the initial shot or to block off the pass in the first place. But their second man is kind of caught in between, where he's not able to challenge the pass early or really get back to the net to defend it. So this just kind of caught out in a really bad spot, and so far that's just been their major downfall on defense. Their offense isn't looking too bad. It's not the fact that they can't score or get pressure, it's the fact that they can't defend. That would have been on target. That would have been
oh my god,
blocked away twice. This Flyers defense is just a brick wall in front of the net, and that's just an overcommit.
Wait, he missed.
CTN.
oh no.
Oh boy, oh my god.
And it's might not be that important in this game as you're up by 4, but definitely one that you'd like to have back if you were the Flyers, as they continue to get onto offense. And it was a huge missed opportunity for the jungle. It's a good block though, but I mean, T-Jack just all over that. T-Jack 3 goals to his name, and I mean the Flyers in general. I mean, he's 100% shooting. What are we doing? The Flyers are just on another level right now, and I mean that one loss is a loss. Is T gonna put this one in from far away? 3 goals a minute. It's somewhat manageable. But it's possible, but like with the way that the Flyers are playing and the inconsistencies we're seeing from the jungle, I just don't know if this is their game to come back from. But I mean, I think they just need a good start to a game. I mean, they were down by 3 at the start of this game, and ever since then it's been difficult to climb back into it.
I think so I'll go real quick here. I think the dark side of the moon for Flyers is that the dark side of the moon for them, you don't see it very often when they dominate in games like this, but they still overcommit. They send so many people forward.
What in the world is it even possible?
That is a crazy touch from T-Jack. I have no idea how he recycled that backward off of her front foot, but I mean, both, except from that one, both of Jungle's goals have just been from Flyers just sending 3 people at the ball, and they did that in game 1 and 2, and they did it against Victory. They still have that major flaw. That's the only reason why Victory was even managed to stay afloat in that series, was because they would just clear the ball on a very non-threatening touch, but it became a goal because nobody on Flyers could even get close to getting back in time for it. So I think that Jungle still have a chance in this series if they can utilize that big flaw that Flyers have.
It's going to go all the way down. T-Jack may have a clear. He does. We'll hit it away, and time going to tick away unless Chicago scores right now on this overcommit. They have a chance, but St. Cloud is overcommitting their touches a lot, but Chicago just can't catch them out at this point. And I mean, you see the saves that the St. Cloud is having to make. And I mean, Chicago is potent on offense, but it's the defense that's really killing at this point. They're gifting a lot of chances to St. Cloud by just not being there in time. And I mean, you see the amount of shots that each team has. It's fairly close, but now going into this fourth game, you know, it's only 2-1. You know, you're early still in the series. If you're Chicago, you know, do you take a little bit here, a little bit longer to maybe say, you know, let's take a breath, guys. We know we can win. We just have to understand that it's defense. It's not our offense. We're finding the back of the net. We just got to slow down St. Cloud, who are not, you know, making a bad touch at this point ever.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's difficult. You definitely need to take like a bit of a breather. I mean, but they're ready up. They just want to go straight into the next game. But for the Jungle, I mean, we see their defensive inconsistencies start to pile up. And I mean, I think just that last game it wasn't manageable. It was like that game one where they score too many goals too quickly. And even though there's time left, even if they do respond, there's just not enough time left. And you can't really rely on them coming back from that big of a margin in every game. And so it might just have to be that, you know, just like that game two, these low goal games, as this one might be a goal, Grant. They have a couple players commit, but the Jungle score immediately, and I'm pretty sure this is exactly how game two started.
Yeah, I mean, CTN.
Yeah.
And that is a bus. That is a whole battle bus.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
They took away our trading. I'm never gonna like that game because it's just not worth not having trading.
They're just moving trading to Fortnite. I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I wanted the Sherpa decal, and I'm like, okay, I don't have any blueprints for it. It's not in the shop. I want to go buy. I want to, you know,
Nobody
I'll buy it
bought
off someone for like
sparkles.
500 credits.
I wanted credits, but
Oh no.
Oh, you did?
nobody.
Shut up. Nobody. Oh. Well, that's.
I wanted the Sherpa decal. It's not really too expensive.
Like 150 credits.
Right,
like that.
right. And it's just a really
Not
clean
even that.
decal. But I can't get it. I don't have a blueprint of it. It's not in the item shop, and no one can trade. And it's like, oh, your items can transfer to Fortnite. I saw Verge, right? He has hundreds of items in his inventory. He had like 5 that transferred over to Fortnite.
Well,
and CTN
Fortnite's
is transferring over the defense to
apparently.
offense. Right.
CTN bullies his way in a 1v1, and I mean, when you stop like that and you have no momentum into the 50, it's gonna go that way every time for the Flyers. And that's an equalizer right there, and you know, a minute gone, it's an equalizer as T-Jack off the kickoff gets a block. And that's just one thing that T-Jack does so well. He does it all the time, no matter how well or bad he's playing. He doesn't really play bad ever, but like, all the time, he's just able to dunk his opponents. Like all the time, as Grant gets not one but 2 touches off of the wall and into the net. The Jungle spring back into the
from
lead.
Jonah. I think Grant missed the opening shot, but yeah, that was an incredible pass from Jonah off that corner read. And Jonah did not have a great game too. Had a lot of misses and had a great game 3, excuse me. Had a lot of misses. You know, had his head in his hands a ton. And no, it's so important for me, at least for Chicago, to
That's not a good touch.
keep your mental into it and stay into it, because Chicago, you can find the back of the net. St. Cloud is making mistakes, but this is a monumental one from the battle bus here for CTN as Grant just makes contact and Jonah cleans it up. But it's really important for me for Chicago to just stay in it, not take those the mistakes that they're making to heart truly. But this is a better game, at least for Chicago early on, and it's again an early start.
And it's a nice save from CTN, and even if Jungle don't take the series in the end of the day, I mean, this is a #1 Rising Star team that has had they both have been together the entire season. Passing play coming out, very typical of the Flyers offense to produce one of these, but I mean, this is what you're fighting for. This is what you're probably going to be playing against in LAN.
Yep.
Yeah. More than
And
likely.
and to make a statement like this, to take names after names in the bracket and in the single Elam bracket we had today and in the Swiss bracket yesterday, that's another offensive 3 commit. But I mean, this is a statement series for them. I mean, this is the best of the best right now, and they're going toe to toe, game for game with them, and that shot just goes wide. But I mean, they're gonna have time after this if they qualify for LAN through the plains. They're gonna have a month.
A lot of time, actually.
Scrims to go over these games, see what their problems are, and fix them, and they're gonna come back stronger. Hopefully, when if we see them at LAN, but they need. I think they want to try to get what they can take out of this major, and when they're leaving openings like that, it's gonna make it really hard.
I think it's very likely that we do see this team on LAN, considering, I mean, just their run up until this point. I mean, this is still a manageable game for them, even though they have let Flyers back into this one. What word is that, Stewie? What did he just say?
Palindrome.
What?
Palindrome.
What in the English?
Palindrome is a
14?
word that can be spelt forwards and backwards and still be spelt the same. So, for example, if you spell taco cat backwards, it still is spelled taco cat.
Race car.
Race car. Race car is a palindrome.
Yeah.
Well, the Flyers have just taken the lead.
Yeah, 4 straight.
Yeah.
I think.
3 or 4, I can't recall, but I mean, still a huge swing for the Flyers, and this is a dangerous game for the jungle right now. You got to find your way back into this one. You got to be able to keep your composure. I mean, it's going to be difficult. Once you go down 3, it's not going to be a fun time as AK in the air. It's an aerial assault on the jungle net, and he dribbles past the defense.
And he switched to an Octane. It's just, I don't know if I've ever seen him in another car other than the same Fennec that he has played with completely. And he switches to an Octane here, and he looks better than he did even in the previous games. But Chicago has just, in the challenge game, has just shot themselves in the foot a ton, and CTN continues to make every save that Chicago throw at him, is able to turn another one away as T-Jack. But this St. Cloud defense has just stepped up for this series, and it really is getting frustrating, I would say, for Chicago to deal with.
Yeah, it's not the fact that they have a lack of opportunities on offense. They have their chances. They just either don't put them away or just sacrifice that on the defensive end. And you have 3 goals. You had a 2-goal lead, 3-goal lead, and now you're down 2 with a minute left. I mean, that's pointing so much towards just defensive errors. The third man overcommitted and demoed.
That is just a tough one. Jonah tries to back pass it, and Debu gets demoed his third man right after it happens. Oh man, that's a mental check for Chicago at least.
I mean, that's a pointer towards more than ever that it's going to be a defensive error, and that was probably the dagger that St. Cloud are putting in the jungle right now to make this a 3-1 series lead. And I don't think jungle have it in them to beat to sweep best of 5 sweep Flyers. I just don't think they have it.
They did it to Hibbing. I mean, this is the same situation they were in with Hibbing, down 3-1. They brought it all the way back. Yeah, this would be a really tough task, though, against the proverbial best team in Rising Star.
Well, I think you need some sort of a spark, whether that's like a Debu air dribble bump or a Jonah dunk, or something from Grant. All 3 of these players have that high skill ceiling. It just comes down to consistency. And right now, we're not seeing Debu play his best. We're not seeing the jungle play their best at all. All of them seem a bit off right now. And this was a winnable game for them, but the mistakes at the end of this game have dropped them down from potentially tying the series 2-2 to now going down 3-1 and against match point, and the Flyers are 1 game away from securing the major title. And
Flyers are going to make jungle wait for it, using the strategic bathroom break in between games. But I mean,
Group
yeah, Jungle
dispatch.
had that in their hands, and then it just fell through. I mean, you really want to tie that series up. You don't want to give Flyers that match point. It's such an important game. I mean, that's the difference, is either being tied or you have to claw your way back and you can't lose again. I mean, that's just such... And they had it. I mean, they had the lead. They had the momentum. They looked like they were in control, and then it just... Every level, every player just started falling apart.
And I mean, now, obviously it being one and down 1-3, St. Cloud with all the momentum, but like you said, that was 6 straight goals from St. Cloud. This is really where your back's against the wall if you are Chicago, and you got to find something to do to come back. But yeah, it's really, for me, the challenge is to just... St. Cloud has just gotten, a better 50-50 most of the time against Chicago, who just kind of have really shot themselves in the foot with how they're challenging the ball. And a lot of mistakes too, is I think Chicago's looking for, an opportunity to get the ball by St. Cloud, and St. Cloud is just jumping up to meet them at the point and playing the ball more often. Really, if Chicago can get going in a game like we talked about and get, that lead, they'll be in a better spot. But also the 3-goal lead, the 3-1 lead really is going to hurt them in that last game, because that was a game you should have won.
Yeah, and it was a manageable win for sure. I mean, they had quite a substantial lead at the start of the game, but we've seen these just huge bursts of goals from the Flyers. We saw it in Game 1, we saw it in Game 3, we also saw it in Game 4, but we're on to Game 5 in a must-win game for the Jungle to keep their hopes alive. They need some sort of momentum, and we've seen them score first in some of these games as Jonah gets a flip reset. It's a pass down. Grant off of the backboard. Debu follows it up, but it's blocked. That Flyers defense coming in clutch at the last second, but it's a counterattack the other way. Jonah goes wide there as Debu tries to get another touch, tries to bump CTN off of it as he's now... Is that the Roadhog XL? He's in a different car every game, it seems, as AK
I think it
now...
might be the Harbinger, maybe?
The Harbinger, yeah.
Is it the different version of the Harbinger? Is that what it is?
Harbinger, something like that. It was a battle
I
pass car.
used the Harbinger and I peeked on Stewie in it. I think Stewie remembers.
Season 6?
Yep, would have been season 6. Before,
Or 7. It might have been 7, actually.
No, 6 before LAN.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Yep, and then we still won, but yeah.
Yeah, I still peeked on you.
But regardless, monster clear down to AK, though. Jonah sitting in the way. CTN playing one more touch around, and Chicago just have to start playing the ball on these 50s more. They're trying to play the man and playing reactive, and it just isn't working.
No. And they had kind of fixed that issue where they were kind of not, giving... They were giving Flyers too much space. They're trying to approach the ball quickly so that they don't give them space. But when you full send, just for where you think the ball is going to go, as first man, you got to be playing the ball every time. You should have support playing.
Should never be playing reactive. Yeah.
No, it's
exactly.
not like your last back or anything like that.
Why would you? Why would you
playing like that every time?
Exactly. Why would you play forward and play aggressive if you're not gonna play the ball? You're better off just playing the ball instead of playing reactive to the person who is hitting the ball. Because if you play the person hitting the ball, you're never gonna make contact on a ball that they hit forward. And now with St. Cloud up 1-0, Chicago in another hole that they seemingly just dig themselves deeper in every single game this series so far, as maybe a clear downfield, maybe finds Jonah, but CTN able to get the clear and get the demo, but they're 50 each other now. Is hello?
That's a really risky touch. The shot's just not there, though. I mean, that's going to be saved every time when you have 2 people in net. You're going to need to put that top bins in. I mean, it's Jungle came out steaming hot in game 1. Sorry, this game, not game 1. In this game, game 5. And then it's just been flat. They got scored on, and then they've kind of just gone back into their shell. They're playing scared. They're playing. I mean, they're playing like that. And if you're playing like that, you cannot win it. You need to be playing sharp. Not just on defense. Yes, I agree. Jungle's defense is good, but I'm sorry, offense. Their offense is sharp, but their defense is just about as dull as a rock right now.
Man, Stewie, I think they needed to they needed to find a way to catch that ball there on the wall and take a 50 at the minimum there. It's
or
not
at least
easy
hit
to
it
do.
away just from at least just save it better
of
than
that
it is,
happened.
because punching the ball out in front of your net like that is never going to lead to a good chance for you to make a save
I
and
don't know
get
what
out
else
of your
Deebu's
half.
supposed to do there. Deebu got the demo, but unfortunately, I mean, he follows.
I mean, he
through with
can't
the
control
demo.
him hitting.
it
Yeah,
should
he
be a
can't
goal.
control
It's
himself
a goal.
hitting the
It should
ball.
be a
It
goal
should.
either way, and
Yeah.
that second result happened in terms of him uncontrollably, going into it. He had to get the player off the ball, or else he was going to score, and that's what he did. But it doesn't go their way. So now a 2-goal deficit. It's going to be difficult here. It's off of the backboard. They go missing as there's about 95 seconds left to play. It's a really good 50 from AK. Jonah limited. Boost T-Jack into the back of the net. The Flyers up by 3 and look to secure the major.
And they're just... again, it's another poor save. I understand trying to possess the ball on your backboard, but guys, it's gotten you scored on 3 times now. Hit the ball to the corner, hit the ball anywhere from the front of your nets. It's just, I understand you want to try and possess it and outplay St. Cloud, but that's just not how St. Cloud plays. They're really good on the challenge game. They're hard to get the ball by. You have to take every field advantage that they give you, and when they're giving you that much space to get the ball into your corner, you just have to take it. And with Chicago down in a giant hole now, down 3-0, it seems all but over for them, because I mean they're getting bumped on the back line. They're running into each other now, and
I mean they're limited boost as well, and in all of this.
Yeah,
and that's 4-0. And I agree. They on every single time that they failed to control touch on the backboard, they had the positioning and the option to just bang it, and they don't. And especially that one where CTN's awkward. All he has to do is backflip, and it's just in his corner, and that's not threatening anymore.
I view it as, Ori, I view it as, if you have the option to bang the ball and get it out of your half, I'll take the bang over you trying to,
especially if you're low boost and you're,
exactly.
I mean, all 3 of them are pushed up. They're over aggressive. Punish it. If they're gonna keep. That's the thing is, Flyers over aggress. I call it the dark side of the moon because you don't see it because they're not getting punished for it. I mean, they haven't really lost.
Raynard caught him multiple times just off of banging the ball down the field. We saw it from Carl on his back line, scored 2 goals in one game just from banging the ball from the front of his box all the way down the field.
And even then, they didn't win the series though, and it was close. But I mean. They keep getting away with it. They keep it's suffocating and it's hard to punish it. Don't get me wrong, but you have to start somewhere, or at least attempt to make it at least threatening, even if the bangs aren't on target. Force them to scramble back on defense. But I mean, this is just spells death. And the ball is just
CTN's cheese picture. What's happening?
Deebu.
Oh, they're
Deebu's
respecting
it up.
They're respecting
Oh, look at him locked in.
T-Jack.
Oh. T-Jack breaks it. CTN keeps it up, though.
T-Jack
regardless, with how this is going to end, St. Cloud will be major champions for Rising Star. They're going to walk through the grand finals in a 4-1 fashion. But Chicago played well the first half. I mean, you have to give them credit. They played incredible this major to get here and to get to the final. But you have to give St. Cloud more credit. They won it. They took it home. And they're still keeping the ball up.
Huge for them for clinching play-ins. That was kind of a question as well. I mean, coming into this, if they didn't perform well, I mean, there was a chance that they were going to be out, but they performed well enough to get second, which is huge.
I mean, both teams, I mean, in a situation where they don't really lose, like, Jungle kind of get beat, kind of embarrassing the Flyers to lose, that, especially that game 4, I think, was just the big deciding factor in the end of the day in the series. But I mean, like, they clinch play-ins, right? Flyers clinch first seed. And if, regardless of the outcome of this game, nothing really changes. Maybe Jungle get a slightly better seed. But even then, it's just one seed. It's not going to make a huge difference. Because I don't think so. So, either way, Jungle putting up an amazing major performance and Flyers taking it all the way home. Jungle being really an underdog team. At least standings wise, if you look at the roster, you won't really be surprised about this finish, but
and that obviously ending off the major bracket and ending out Rising Stars, the lowest the lowest league, but always brought some of the most competitive games, I think, Brock. But
Yeah.
score hasn't been updated, obviously, in that bracket. But Jungle losing in 5. It's a 4-1 win for the Flyers, who are major champions.
Hey,
And
I mean, this might be harsh, but the Jungle sticking to their, past identity. Recently, we haven't seen them lose in 5, but recently they've been kind of avoiding that, which is good to see. But I mean, they had a great run. I think that Rangers win was a state. I mean, both of their wins were statement wins, and it's cool to see a team like that go from, at one point we were looking at them being like 10th seed, I think, a couple weeks back, and they when we watched them play, they looked nothing like a 10th seed. They looked like a top 4 team. And we see why, how these guys are going to be in contention in those play-ins for one of those land spots for sure.
And with how this played out, it hasn't. I don't know if it's updated quite yet for the major points, but with this place though, with the points that Chicago got, and Mankato, they at least jumped Mankato.
I think they only.
But I don't think they
Mankato.
jump Hibbing. I think they only jump Mankato,
Hibbing and Fargo
which
both at 55. So
yeah, which means that they will likely play. Looks to be maybe Minneapolis, depending on. I don't remember if the bracket is if they start in lowers, but I don't know who. I don't remember what that information is, but yeah, I mean that's the major, and Ori, curious your thoughts. Obviously, you're in Rising Star, and I mean you're done for the season. I think obviously you and I are both done for the season.
We
but-
could have won, and we wouldn't have even have gotten
see,
like
this
11th.
This is why I was not Rochester this season.
Wow. Okay.
I hate you. I hate
is
you.
why
You
I
know,
left.
I have
I
a
knew
curse.
it would
I know
crumble.
I have
I
a
knew
curse.
it would
To be
crumble.
fair, I mean their challenger team is
yes.
We'll see. I'll actually be there for it tomorrow. I'm casting the last matches, so I'll get to see firsthand.
They should be
the
in
challenger
contention
roster.
for a land spot. No.
Yep, they are contending top 4. I do believe they're all really bunched up in top 4. It's very, very thin margins. Yep, they're second actually right now.
They're second, third in the seed. I mean, Fargo's up there.
Second,
Brainerd,
third are
Bemidji,
tied. Brainerd's up
Mankato's
there.
if they have a
Brainerd
good-
really. Wait, did Brainerd just get like stumped out of the? Brainerd are out of the. Brainerd got dumped out by Burnsville in the round 4.
Ooh.
So
So Challenger Major is actually complicated a ton because of that,
Right.
and because of who made it in.
And you can-
Fargo are going to be the biggest pain up Rochester's butt. It's gonna be
Yeah.
Fargo.
And same with Bemidji. Bemidji is going to be a problem
yeah,
for a lot
for
of these
sure.
teams, but Duluth has been the best team so far. I mean, Challenger, but
I mean, hey,
honestly,
it's Bert. How did we let Bert
yeah.
fall to pick 15? I mean, if he was gonna go to pick 15, you might as well
Yeah,
let
that's
me
true.
have him.
Why are we
at
picking
16?
him second round? What are we doing, GMs?
I don't know if like you saw what happened last season, if you followed Challenger, but Burf was the best player by
He
a
kind of
long
like
shot.
won.
And
He kind of like won.
Can't really, yeah, he might have like won and had over 10 goals in the grand final, but apparently
10
he
goals in
goes
7
15.
games is really good.
He's got to have more. I feel like he's got more than that. He had like 2 4-goal games. So, I mean,
Right.
I mean, it just shows. I mean, he's teaming with a good buddy of his in Sonder.
40.
And
I
40 as
mean,
well.
40 is 40 is 40.
40
I
is
mean,
just having the season of
And for him
seasons.
to kind of be like a second or third in a challenger team I think it's a really good opportunity
He is a
for him. And
strong
it's
individual
it's showing
player.
right now.
They're in a really
for
good
sure.
spot to win that major, but yeah, that's tomorrow. So we're gonna send it, of course, to the end of the stream. Appreciate everyone stopping by for Rising Star Major, and tomorrow we'll have Challenger Major. We're gonna step it up in skill level and competition, obviously, but we're gonna step it up in production, I guess you could say as well. But not really, Brock. I mean, you did a great job, my guy. Appreciate it as always. Ori, appreciate it as well.
Nobody outclasses
virtual
me.
virtual fit virtual fist bumps to both of you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.
Y'all are good.